Is that a chicken outside or on your phone? Outside. Live chickens. All right, I think I think we're about ready to go live here. I mean, technically we already are live, but you know what I mean. I'm sharing all my stuff out on social media and doing my Discord, keeping an eye on the bitrate to see if we're not going to have any crashes. You never know with our backwoods internet. You back in your chair, Smeagol? Yeah, it's hot outside, buddy. All right, let's keep on rolling. There's a black rider they suspect in the middle of the pig farm. Bah! Fear my wrath, Bogles of Budgeford.
Huh, how rude!
Cower before me! You will face my wrath! Boo! I have to go. So long. Oops, gotta go. He got caught. Did you hear that, Chris? Somebody's. Are you being okay, Sam? I don't know. That's what I was trying to take a look at, what he was doing. No, we don't want to do the postman's quest yet.
Is there something I can do for you?
A hobbit in a black cloak? My free will can't tell a man from a hobbit. Something queer is going on, and I want to know what.
Might I have a word with you?
They just spotted the so-called Black Rider heading off to the east on foot. No horse in sight, not even a pony. Camp says he was seen running through some fields of his, being chased by some wolves. It's bad enough we have to deal with unwanted nuisances like these Black Riders, but now we have to worry about wolves too. If this fella gets himself eaten by wolves, I'll never know what's going on here, so you'd best do something about it. Head off to Cam's Puttyfoot Fields and look for any signs of that Black Rider. Was that Sam? Frodo, what are you doing? Go up here with Mommy. He was behind my chair doing the whole, I'm going to sharpen my claws on the back of your chair. Mommy has him now in bed. It's a little hot outside. It's right around 100 degrees, so we've, most of them were in the office all day, but we've brought the other ones that weren't in the office. Like, come in here to the air conditioning. Cloak of the Black Rider. Ride, won't they ride? There's the wolves. There's a cloak. Out of sheer curiosity, because I just don't know, because I don't know the class for it. Do burglars ever get an AoE in Lord of the Rings Online? I don't know enough about this. That's one of the reasons I've been playing the burglar, is to level it up so I can do my class guide. But I just realized I think it's like the only class I've played so far where they haven't given me an AoE. No, he and Smeagol. Sam's back there on the floor. Did you see that? Yeah, he's like, es como así por como 6 días.
Just a moment.
That's a hobbit-sized cloak, all right. He must have got snagged when he was running away. Don't worry about losing his trail. We'll find him soon enough.
Might I speak with you a moment?
My hound has tracked that Black Rider down with a sniff of his cloak. Oh, is that Sam's back there? So Sammy is back in the corner. We call this Lucas's rage, his rage cardboard, because whenever Lucas gets upset, he destroys things. So we give him pieces of cardboard. The rolls from toilet paper. This is when he was in the bedroom for 4 days with bandages. And we left it in here as a chew toy, and Sam just found it. He's back in the corner. I heard this weird noise, and he's back in the corner shredding it. Sam is hilarious. If you give him a box of cereal when you're done with the cereal, just give him the box, and he turns it into little pieces. It's really hilarious. All right, follow Veronica. Down, Victoria. What's gotten into you? Veronica runs
Dear
back to
me,
Odovar.
what do you want?
Odovacar? Black Rider? Me? Of all the absurd... Oh, this black cloak? Well, I've seen it before. I sewed it. I made it for my good-for-nothing nephew, Fogo. Little thanks I got from him, too. If you want to speak to him, he's like at the Golden Perch. I wonder what that cloak was for. Alright. Golden Perch at Stock. So we need to go across the river. And down the road a bit to Stock. Need to remember to come back to Stock, because there's a whole slew of quests here that we can I have a screenshot right here in front dancing with these two characters. I've used that. As a matter of fact, if you look at the thumbnail for this, yeah, if you look at the thumbnail for this video, for the, A Hobbit in the Shire, it's not a screenshot of this character. It's a screenshot of my minstrel from like 3 years ago that I took in front of this gazebo. And it was such a good shot that I've used it for a lot of my Lotro videos because it's just a really good thumbnail. It works great. There's another one I took of the whole fellowship on the banks of the river right before Frodo and Sam separate and Merry and Pippin get taken. So it's right at the falls after they pass to Argonath, and there's a series of quests you do there after Mirkwood, and it's beautiful scenery. The cinematics are pretty good. It's just great quest lines, but you get some really cool shots of like the whole fellowship together on their way through, and then doing the follow-up quests with Boromir and what he goes through. Man, those are, if I could choose to play like one quest line over and over again, it would be those. They were so good. Such good stuff for those of you who love Lord of the Rings lore from the books. Anyway, I am here to talk to somebody that I'm going to assume is inside the tavern. Yeah. Fogo Fellowhide.
Oh, mercy me!
Oh, you found out my little secret. We thought it would be so much fun. See, I met this fellow a few days ago while I was drinking. Called himself the Chief, he did. Said he was an old friend of Odo's. Wanted to play a little joke on him. Took me back to get a black cloak and gave me some money to haunt Odovakar's farm by night. Sure, you don't think I mean him any harm? I never. But that Chief fellow? I haven't seen him since, come to think about it. Yes, I promise not to do it again. Those wolves almost got me. I won't be running around at night anymore, that's for sure. Alright. Well, at least we sorted that out without any harm to anybody. Just, I gotta remember, come back and stop and check the quests. I probably did this one out of order. I probably should have done stock before this because I was in stock, I think, for the Postmaster the last time we played, and I foolishly took the Postmaster up to Budgeford and started doing quests here, and then I got locked into this place. It's like, alright, I gotta finish this place up. Look at all these sunflowers along the road. Such a beautiful part of the Shire over here. But there's wolves, terrible wolves. Kind of a lowlands river with weeping willows and the like. I think the combat music got bugged out. Tis still on. Alright, let's talk to Bulgur.
Is there something I can do for you?
I wonder who this chief might be and why he'd want to play a terrible joke on me. Well, there's no way to prove anything, I guess, but if Lothar wants to buy my farm, he'll have a long wait, let me tell you that. Thank you kindly for all your work. Alright, I get a robe here. Honestly, it's the same as the one I've got. However, what are the stats here? Oh my. Either way, they're good picks. I'll take the leggings. Hold on to these. The menace confronted. Talk to Callum. Alright, I'm gonna turn these two quests off because they're to go talk to the same person. We'll come tunneling up north. I don't need those confusing the issue in my tracker. I may have to log to character select real quick though to reset the combat music because it's looping for some reason. Maybe if we do another combat encounter, it'll stop. I believe that solved it. That's an easier fix than logging out. What's up, Mujin? The pipes are calling. Where is this dude? Fell asleep. So the wretched little man sent you to end my life, did he? I suppose it's only his right. My life has been a curse because of the mark of dishonor upon my family. Do as you will. I have not the strength to defend myself, as you can see. When that rat man found the arrow in his door, he raised an alarm. I was afraid of being found before it was ready, so I fled to my hiding place, and in my flight, I started a bore, and the vile thing gored me. It's only a matter of time before I succumb to the wound. If you're not going to kill me, at least do me this service of telling that Wilmore that he has nothing to fear from me now. The tired years of my life are nearly spent. So, a bitter man coming to a bitter end. Man, it shorts being... sucks being short sometimes. It shorts being suck? No, it sucks being short. I has dyslexia. I may have and just may have never gotten tested. Who knows what I've got. Alright. Right on back. Hello, Mr. Bear. Oh, I should have jumped down like that.
How do you do?
What a relief! And then I can't help but feel badly for this Callum. You see, I've read more of his journal, and his life was really, truly a pitiful one. The place where he lives, far in the north, seems to be a dark, hard-fought place. Nothing like the Shire, and he's not had much luck. Oh, I think he made his effort a charity, if you would help me with this.
Hello there. Might I speak with you?
Oh, is that bear all the way over here? It did, then it ran back away. Yay for combat looping music. The wound of his from this boar literally needs to be bandaged. Alright. Prickly broom. A little bit of the devil's lettuce. Why, I wouldn't know what you were talking about, sir. I'm a good Christian lad. Oh my goodness. There's one. Oh, you want to eat me? Mr. Woofy. Oh, there's some right up here. I thought it was all going to be down by the river. All those things that she thought I was innocent of. Oh no! You're a bad man, Mr. Anderson. A bad man. No, I fell. Oh, Mujin, by the way, I found out that like, because I've been doing a lot of the missions recently for like the higher tier stuff in Star Wars: The Republic are like flashpoint things, and then we did the flashpoints the other day for the Shadow of Revan. So a lot of those flashpoints, I guess, that's where a lot of the really cool, rare stronghold decorations come from, are from the flashpoints. Just as an FYI of another reason to want to do flashpoints as we continue the adventures. I almost went ahead and played Star Wars again tonight, but I already played the Old Republic for a couple hours earlier this morning, so I was like, I'll do some Lotro tonight. Update 36 just
Hello
went live
there.
today, so I wanted to come in and look at the landscape difficulties, so I'm going to record that episode probably later tonight. I recorded the Update 36 news video before I logged in tonight. That's going to come out at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, so that I already did that, but I want to do the landscape video tonight. And then I also recorded my Diablo 4 ideas video today. It's just, I still don't know exactly how I'm going to do guides around that, but I mean, beyond just the class guides, like, how do you do, if, because some of those, I need to read up more on the dungeons, because I think some of the dungeons are static, but I think some of the dungeons are procedurally generated. So you can't really make guides for the dungeons, because the dungeons are going to be changing every time somebody goes in. So I have to take a closer look at what I'm going to do there. Anyway, um, but we'll, if you're around tomorrow, we'll do some Star Wars Old Republic. And I was good to see you got started on the HK quest. I need to start that. Tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow's as good a day as any is to start it. Um, and that'll give me an opportunity to work more on the arms tech because I can level up his crafting while I'm working on the HK quest. So, for my gunslinger. Because I've already maxed. I'm almost at the max with my artifice guys. So, and if I need credits, those die packs are selling. I sold another 2 million credits worth of die packs last night. So, all I got to do is, make some die packs, and if we ever need money. Um, but I should have more than enough cash now to level up arms tech all the way to the cap. And I think you're working on Synthweave, if I'm not mistaken. Please take these bandages to Callum at his campsite. And at some point this week, I actually got to go order Diablo. Pre-order it for the Xbox. Because I am going to play it at launch. I was on the fence about it, and Chris was the one who was like, you should do it, because you don't usually cover new games, and you could get some guides out in the first month pretty quickly. And I was like, that's a fair point. So from a business standpoint, my wife was the one who was like, all right, take it. So I'm going to do Diablo 4 from launch. However, the thing that sucks is like right at the same time, Solasta Palace of Ice launched, Star Trek Resurgence launched, and there's a new Alien game that's launching this month as well. Oh, and God, something else came out on May 20 something. There was another little indie game. So there's like 4 little indie games that I could play right now as well. But I was like, I'll get to those eventually. I haven't done a AAA launch in a very, very long. I think it's been. I'm trying to think when was the last time I was actually present for a AAA product launch. I know I did Star Wars: The Old Republic when it came out, but that was 2011, so that's been, 12 years ago now. Was that really the last AAA? Like, well, Anthem. I was there for Anthem launch, which was multiplayer, but that wasn't an MMORPG. but I was there for the Anthem launch, so that probably counts. Buggy as fuck. Still fun as hell. My brother and I have been making these observations. I talked about this last night. Anthem is climbing the Steam charts right now, and it's getting popular again because all the post-patch content they've done around that game for the past couple of years have, you know, have been people are saying it's a really good game to play now, and because you can get it for like $5, and even it comes included with Game Pass. So I'm pretty sure you're going to see an Anthem video popping up on my feed here in the near future because I really enjoyed that game when it came out. The single player campaign was really fun, but you could play it multiplayer. I played it with my brother. I love the combat. I'm genuinely interested to see what that game has. So I own it on the PS4, but I'm going to play it on the Xbox and see what it's like. That one's coming soon, so stay tuned. I might actually download that tonight. We'll see. Bandages from the little man. It's not treachery of some sort. I'm not sure what to say. I've hated this mark against my family for so long I thought it would be finally erased if the little man was dead, but these are not the actions of an enemy. Should my anger be aimed at those who forced my ancestors into battle? Or should I lay the blame upon fate and leave my anger behind? I have so much to think upon. Well, I thank you. This Willamar has nothing to fear from me. I know what game it was. It was March 20-something. It was, Rogue Trader had made an announcement that they were going into beta on June 1st or something. And I was also like, do I play that? And I was like, no, because when I did the vote of what I should focus on for June, that game was winning the vote, Rogue Trader Beta. However, someone made a very good point, which coincided with what Chris was saying, which was it's a beta, which means things can still change between now and launch, and there's still no launch date. So we can expect at least a few months, and they will be continually tweaking things and changing things here and there. So if the objective is to buy a game to make if the objective is to buy a game to make guides around it, and that's your primary objective, it would be better to wait for Rogue Trader to actually launch, as opposed to starting to cover it now, because things might change and your guides might become outdated. Whereas Diablo is launching, it's a finished game. The classes at launch are the classes that are there. You can actually make content and know it's not going to change for the foreseeable future. And I went, oh, that's a good selling point as well. So I have a couple of people making good arguments for. I'm maxed out on my determination, so I actually need to switch over and start learning something different. So that was earning me agility, physical mastery, and critical rating. I think Zeal, is it Zeal? Yeah, this one. We're going to do Zeal next. Uh-oh, door's not shut. Alright, I think we can go to stock now and work on all the quests that we saw over there. Also, normally tonight, everybody, I'm normally not streaming on Wednesday nights, but we have a man down, so everybody send good vibrations, thoughts and vibes, and so on and so forth. But we had a man down tonight with a tooth infection for our Starfighter actual play group. So, keep him in your thoughts, because that's never fun. Like, secondary infections are never fun to begin with, and then when they're in your mouth, and it's just, ugh. So we're streaming some Lotro tonight instead. Wreck to stock to quest, we need to remember the postmasters in Budgeford. And I need to spend a point. Oh, I can slot my first racial. I may have to go work on earning one of those. No, I'm gonna keep focusing on this one. Alright. Off to stock. Man, I hope there's not a pie all the way over here that I need to deliver back to Hobbiton. That would be a long run. Bound to a
Might I have
great
a word
merit.
with you?
Report to Second Sheriff Bruno Buns by the town hall in Mickledelvum and tell him of your deeds. So that's a horse ride back. Not a problem. I like this sign, the Golden Perch Inn. That's a really cool signpost. By the way, this whole area is just one of the coolest areas in the Shire. Like, you walk in. Here, let me get off my horse for a minute to truly appreciate it. Like, just this overhanging with flowers and everything as you come in from the... That might actually be a screenshot. Hold up. I'm not going to be able to get enough of the post-it, though. See, I wish you could do photo mode and, like, offset the picture so that your character only takes up a third. That's not a bad shot right there. Oh, all the dialogue popped up right before I took my screenshot. Oh, have to wait for the dialogue to fade. All right, come on, fade away, fade away, fade away, and one more line. Go, come on, fade. Damn it! There we go. Screenshot, and we'll do another one like so. Screenshot, and maybe this one. Ooh, that's not a bad screenshot right there. Hold up. Oh, look at that shot with the flowers in the foreground. It pays to have been a photographer as a day job. I'm not gonna lie, I take good screenshots. Pretty much every game I play, I have a. It's something I don't share a lot of that. There was maybe 6, 7 years ago, the first time I tried to play Elder Scrolls Online. I actually started a series on Instagram where I was doing in-character like thoughts from the journeys of that character. So I would take screenshots while I was playing the game, and then I would post those screenshots to social media with a random like quote from that character's journal. I thought it was a fun little roleplay thing to do, but I like photography, man. I do sometimes miss doing photography for a living. Sometimes, not always.
Might I speak with you a moment?
All right. Oh wow, yeah. This one is it's to deliver a pie to Hobbiton. That is a long run. Well, let's hold off on that for the moment.
Hello there. Might I speak with you a
From a
moment?
maggot. His farm, Bamfurlong, is down south of the River Road. All right, so that'll be. We'll do that later. We have a quest in the inn, and I think we'll come out. We'll take the pie to Hobbiton, and then we'll go from Hobbiton to Mickledelving, and then we'll come from Mickledelving back on the pony.
Stay and have some tea.
Oh. I'm gonna deliver the pie in a minute, but it's the last thing I do. Yeah. The campus in the world's southward from Midway. Okay, so he's got some missing east, which I think is where we went earlier for that one quest where we had to rescue the dude from the bandits. Yeah, it's down in there. Okay, so those are quests we're going to do when we come back. So first up, we're going to grab the pie, and then we'll go to Mickledelving after that.
Might
All right.
I speak with you a moment?
All right, we got to get out on the road somehow. There's a hungry hobbit right out the gate if I go that way. I can't get... Okay, yeah, that's... I won't be able to get out that way.
Might I have a word with you?
Once we get to the main road, we'll be fine here. Alright, I think we're good. It's a long hustle back to Hobbiton. My goodness. However, the Shire is very pleasing to look at, so... This is one of the things I was thinking about. You know, if the new game that Amazon is producing can give you the look and feel of Middle-earth as well as Lord of the Rings Online does it, and they do it with really old graphics, if they can pull that off, it won't matter the monetization. It won't matter any of that. It won't matter. People will want to play because it's going to feel like Middle-earth. It's going to look like Middle-earth. That's one of the things that Lord of the Rings Online did very well, even though the game is obviously dated now. I would argue the content is evergreen. The graphics are definitely dated. It still doesn't look that bad, comparatively speaking. It's not like trying to go back to EverQuest 1, but it still looks and feels great. I mean, I would happily play this game another 10 years. It's hard to believe it's been 16 years since this game launched. This was the game we went to right after Vanguard Saga of Heroes failed. Our guild just migrated to Lord of the Rings Online. Many, many years ago. Uh-oh. Shit. I'm gonna have to go around. There's a nosy hobbit right there. I almost ran into him. I will mock EverQuest 1 continually. I have to say it was extremely relieving to not even feel the slightest, not even the slightest twinge of interest in the most recent TLP for EverQuest. I think I've finally shaken that monkey off my back. It's has a fond place in my memories, but I think 25 years is more than enough to give to a single game. There's nothing wrong with moving on to other things. All right, how many more spoiled pies are there? My goodness. There will probably come a point in time when I will put Lord of the Rings Online behind me as well. And Star Wars: New Republic, you never know. I have to say though, I'm really impressed with Onslaught and Legacy of the Sith. The storylines were very tight. If not a lot, maybe, I mean, I would argue a few hours of storyline per expansion at the most. But when you factor in all the patch content in between the expansions, it's a lot more than just like 3 to 5 hours. It's more like 15, 10 to 15 hours. But it's been just solid storytelling, one beat after another. Some amazing cinematics. Like this morning when I was playing through in that battle between the two Mandalorian queens was just freaking amazing. Watching a couple of Amazonian badasses go at it in Mandalorian armor. That was a really cool cutscene. I gotta say, I'm really looking forward to Diablo 4 now that I've like made the decision to just sink my teeth in. I had a lot of fun during the I had more fun than I thought I would doing the server slam. I mean, I had Chris. Chris and I were like on the bed together, just like sitting there, hanging out and playing the sorcerer. When I was doing the second run through of the stuff that I was looking at, and she was like, "This looks kind of fun," and I was like, you know, second controller, co-op, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. That's how my brother got his wife to play. Was they started off with Diablo 3 before they had kids. That was the big game they were playing together. And by the way, I'm playing with my brother and my sister-in-law on Friday nights now. We're doing Sea of Thieves. We did our first session last week, so we'll see. The kids are finally getting old enough that my sister-in-law likes games, but she likes different types of games than my brother and I. We got her to try Sea of Thieves because we told her we're gonna go do the Pirates of the Caribbean PvE content for Sea of Thieves. So I think we're gonna start that Friday night. Muji says the last TLP had a really weak rule set. Yeah, yeah. Rule sets are not enough to get me excited.
Is there something I can do for you?
Did we just get a new hat? Oh, it doesn't look any different. Boo. However, I've heard all the good you've done, Faloth. You truly are an excellent bounder and deserve the thanks of all Shire folk. Don't go in for uniforms, but I must say that you've earned another feather in your cap. Take it with my thanks. So we get a cap and we get a title. So I'm definitely going to put the cap on. I do wish it looked a little different. Oh, wait, does it have 2 feathers compared to the 1? It has 2 feathers instead of 1, and it has a light effect. Oh, it has +2 hope on it. So that's the hope buff. Like that glowing... Oh, that's cool. I totally want to choose my title, too. Honorary Sheriff. Very cool. Alright, well I think we can go back to stock from here and work on those quests. Wait, did I just see a quest up here? Those are the... Oh, out of sheer curiosity. No, that's to turn into Bingo Boffin. I was thinking it was the, Why does it show a reflection pool here, but I don't see... Is it inside the house? Where's the reflection pool that it shows on my map? Huh. Alright, don't get sidetracked. Oh, you have a yellow, excuse me, a higher level quest. Alright, let's go back to stock. Oh, dude, crafting is no joke, man, in Star Wars: The Republic. It cost me 1.5 million
Day, isn't it?
to get to max with Artifice. Oh, I can't even slow ride to stock from here. I guess I'll have to ride to Hobbiton first. I'll have to watch that Danny Boy, later on. Muji, I just caught the Discord. I think about 7 years ago or so, they did a run of I think it was like seven, because I was watching some of the videos this morning. They did a run of like really cool music videos with all the different Muppets. And there's a lot of like the Swedish Chef and Animal and other characters doing musical. I think didn't they do like a new feature film like 7 or 8 years ago, and they were doing that as promotion for the film. I feel like there was a Muppet film. I didn't watch it. It was with Jason Segel or Segal, whatever his name is. I did watch the adult puppet film that Brian Henson did a couple years ago with Melissa McCarthy, I think is who was in it. Dude, that movie was frickin' hilarious with like the police partner they're like one of the partners is a is a Muppet. Oh, that was a great movie. Definitely not for kids.
How do you do?
Yeah, let's slow travel to. What was that called? Brian Henson. The Happy Time Murders. That's what it's called. No, 2018 American adult puppet crime comedy film directed by Brian Henson, written by Todd Berger. Melissa McCarthy, Bill Barretta, Joel McHale, Mary Ruth. It's Elizabeth Banks. It was so awesome. The Happy Time Murders. If you haven't watched that film, you have got to see it. It is absolutely amazing. Dark humor, for sure. So, and yeah, not for kids. So be forewarned. I think even the trailer for the Happy Time Murders was what killed me, because there's this scene in the office. it's messed up. Oh, puppets for the win. Alright, I'm almost back to stock. I tell you what, my wife's headset is not as comfortable as mine. But I have yet to brave cutting that open and refixing all the wiring, because I don't like to do electrical work. Try to see if I can't fix mine. From the cat bites. Alright, talk to Farmer Maggot. This is down the road. He's got a pretty big operation, to be honest with you. Look at all the mushrooms all over the field here. That's so cool. Like, look at that. There's just mushrooms everywhere. By the way, mushrooms are delicious. Especially fried mushrooms. Like, I will say one thing about, a lot of people make fun of British food. But, man, they do some amazing things with, like, mushrooms, potatoes. The best fish and chips in the world is in the UK. They've got some like shepherd's pie, hard ciders. Like there's some really good stuff like bangers and mash, like good sausages, lots of stuff with mashed potatoes and oh man, bangers and mash sounds so good right now. I don't think we have any sausages. I do have some potatoes though, because I bought them yesterday morning at the market.
I've no chuck with strangers.
Violet Underhill. Yes, indeed. I told that young lady what I'm going to tell you and what I've told the Bounders days ago if I had any sense. Some ruffians have come into the Shire not far west of here. Brigands, more than likely. My son Hammy here could tell you more about them. We'd both like to see them gone. I told that young lady that their camp was no place for her to be poking around, but I guess from what you say that she didn't listen. I should have told someone about them, but I figured her to have more hobbit
Hi there.
sense.
Give me a moment.
Alright, so we gotta go find and hopefully rescue Violet.
Hello there. Might I speak with you a moment?
And it's at the same area we gotta go for the other quest to collect the yeast. I can't remember if we can actually head up the river here or not. Excuse me. I think we have to go up on top of the waterfall if I remember correctly. Yeah, I gotta go up top. Sorry guys, I got the sniffles from allergy stuff. It's up top here. Come on now. Definitely up top here. Alright, I have to kill everybody on the way in. Got him in the back with a knife. That's awesome. That's what you get when you try to run. Ready to go out, Luke? Oh, hang on, buddy. I gotta kill another. Let's go outside. Alright, now collect the yeast. That's not even anywhere near where I'm at, so... I don't want to release her quite yet because I need to find the yeast first. Because I guarantee you first is going to be an escort quest out of here. And I don't want to have to come back a second time. So we need to go find the yeast first. Did I manage to get in here without triggering them? Until now. Crap. Spoke too soon. That bastard's gonna shoot me from the front. Alright, screw it. Come here. Alright. Oh, did he see me? What triggers being seen in stealth? I don't know enough how stealth works in this game. It says +3 stealth detection. So I wonder what the detection rate is. Alright, now we can go rescue her from the cart. Also, if you need money, Mujin, let me know. I got plenty of credits on my Jedi from crafting. I'm just gonna funnel it over to my guy for crafting.
Oh, gracious me.
Oh, you're not with the ruffians? Thank you for rescuing me. Alright, come on. You gotta go, girl. Let's roll. Oh, who's shooting at her? Hurry up, Mrs. Underhill. Miss Underhill, sorry. Alright, please tell Matt I'm alright. Alright, we're gonna head back now. Should be able to turn in those quests back in. Oh, we got some to turn in back down at the farm. Back to Hammy Maggot. Ham. Wonder if we have any ham. Ham and cheese sandwich sounds really good right now. I know we have some chicken. Because Chris made pollo alla bottle yesterday. Technically it's kind of late for me to be eating at 6 o'clock, but I'm hungry. Although I tell you what, that P90X shit that I tried to get back into today, I'm getting back into it, but
Day,
man,
it?
I do not remember it being this hard to get into when I was, but when I was 31, when I started doing it, late 30s, late 30, early 31, I was 31 years old. You know, I was already going to the gym regularly, and so I was in pretty decent shape before I started P90X. This time around, I haven't done squat for like 2 years. No weightlifting at all. And I do have bands that I use occasionally, but it's nothing serious. So that was brutal this morning. It's gonna be a rough couple of weeks getting back into the program. What is the control? Aha! It's Alt to use all of the. All right. Talk to Matt Harfoot. These are back in stock. Daily moisturizer, baby. I'm just kidding. I don't actually use moisturizer very often. I will do moisturizer occasionally. I love avocado facials, and avocados are cheap here, so I tend to do those more seasonal. Like when it's dry, I'll do avocado facials. It's amazing. It's just literally you take some raw avocado. I like to mix it up with a little bit of honey, and then just plaster that on for an hour. And then you run around telling everybody, oh, Shrek and I had such a fun night last night.
Oh, good day.
Nothing but a
Good
bunch
day.
of cigarettes and beer I'll take care of. That's how I keep maintain my younger looks. Alright, I got a couple of different ales I could try to drink. A couple of Mathem's to-dos. Alright. The only quest I have left are to run up north. However, we have the postal service, so let's go back to him and see where he wants to send me. Because if he sends me up to Brockenboring, then we're on the right track. Because that's kind of like the last place they funnel you in the Shire. Alright, Mr. Postman.
Might I speak with you a moment?
Putting off my latest delivery to the town of Scary. Yep, going north to Scary. Alright. Man, that bear saw me from a ways away. Oh, that bat just attacked me too. Well, some bitch. He shot something at me. Alright. Getting up into nosy hobbit territory, but I need to pay attention now here. Oh, there's all sorts of quests up in here. Woot! I can get a personal house now, which I actually already own, so.
Please, stay a moment.
Alright, that's to Brockenboring, so that's the last area of the Shire, so we'll be saving that for later. Right now we need Poppy.
Good day. Might I have a word with you?
We'll do, yeah, there's no mount here. Hold that thought, because I'm going to need to go get the horse to Brockenborings before I start that quest.
Please,
The fate of
stay a
Prunilla.
moment.
Okay. Could you go look for her? Rumor has it there are goblins in the northwest regions. That is a fellowship quest, which might actually be a little challenging to do solo. We'll save it for later. We have 2 turn-ins
Just a
here,
moment. Hello.
and then a
Might I have a
follow-up.
word with you?
Pansy thinks she saw something on the green fields.
Please, stay
This
a
is
moment.
about the spiders in there, which we can worry about in a bit. Alright, Pansy, tell me what you saw.
Is there something I can do for you?
I was walking in the green fields looking for flowers when I saw a squat little man off in the distance. He was carrying a spear, and believe me when I tell you that he was a goblin. All of a sudden he dropped to the ground. It looked like to me like he was reaching into a hole of some kind. A rabbit hole, most likely. I was so scared I ran back here and told my brother what I saw, but I don't think he believed me. The Greensfields are out northwest of here. Was it a goblin? Or was it Gollum? Good question. And here's Prissa Underhill.
Please, stay a moment.
She wants me to kill bats. Alright, but before we do, we're gonna go grab the horse in Brockenborn. Alright, now I can go do that
Just a moment.
pie quest. Alright, here we go.
Good day. Might I have a word with you?
I just have to avoid hungry hobbits. Oh crap, there's one on the road right there. I do not want to go cross country, I'll tell you that much. There's too much that can happen. So, and there's rivers and stuff, so I think I'm just gonna follow the road around as best I can. Get to Hobbiton. Man, I am genuinely hungry. This is what I need to just, I haven't in a while. Oh, I'm gonna get hit by hobbits. There's all sorts of hobbits up in here. Shit. When I was regularly going to the gym all the time, I was going through a big container of that whey protein every month. And I would just have smoothies at night. I'm debating. I probably need to buy another jug. Go back to having banana smoothies at night. Banana and blueberries smoothies. Just so tasty. They are tasty. I like chocolate. So chocolate protein with some almond milk or some skim milk. A couple scoops of peanut butter. Half of a banana, a handful of blueberries. I'm telling you, it is a smoothie to die for. Good stuff. I'm gonna have to go talk to Chris and find out what we can have for dinner, because I'm like sitting here talking about food and just keep getting hungrier and hungrier. I'll do that once we drop the pie off here. Need a full contingency, or can like 3 or 4 people do them? Especially if you're talking the old world bosses. I don't know. Don't know enough about it. But I know there's like dailies and weeklies that you can, or weekly, I think they're weekly quests that you can work on, which have you kill world bosses, I think. And I'm sure there's achievements out the wazoo. I feel like I'm due to run into a hobbit here soon. Probably as soon as I cross the bridge. Yep. He's moving the other way though. I think we're good. I think there's only one more, and it's the one from Brockenboring. That'll be the last one we do.
Good
Alright,
day.
back to Brockenborings, and I will be back in a minute. All right. I got some apple. Apple and peanut butter. I assume I'm in Brockenboring now. We're gonna do the spiders first. And I'll tell you what, crunchy peanut butter and apples, pretty dope combo. I like it anyway. Dude, I don't doubt, man. Hang on, something lagged out. Hopefully it's the game and not my internet. I think my internet's good. Yeah, Bubbleoni, man, that sucks. Like, I would say I feel for you, which I do, but I also don't, because like I don't I understand that it's likely very uncomfortable. I can't begin to appreciate how uncomfortable that is. Um, but yeah, definitely better than trying to talk. So there was no issues. Waiting until next week. Plus, I own the books. It's not like it's going anywhere. That's the nice thing about Fantasy Grounds. That license is perpetual. So those books are forever books. Lucas, I did not know you were even in here, buddy. How did you come into the room? You okay? Mr. Scaredy Cat, you want to go back out? Well, I gotta go find a queen so I can get my credit for the quest update. Alright, let me get this and we'll go back outside, buddy. Need to go kill some bats now, but I wonder if I can just go stealth at the entrance to the cave. Oh, somebody super chatted. Let me go look at who that was. Bubbaloni Rising for $10 says, sending love, buddy. Man, thank you. Appreciate that. But also, sending love right back at you, because being laid up with a sore tooth, man, that is no fun. Ha ha ha! I get the big screen treatment. Well, hopefully the internet stays up long enough for you to get your money's worth. I never know. I'm always in terror of the internet. Oh, I forgot about Lucas. Hang on, guys. Come here, Lucas. It's like 6:30, so it's finally cooling down enough that all the cats are wanting to go outside. We got, the rainy season started, and we got some glorious, like, 10 days of, like, lower 90s temperatures. And then the last, like, 4 days, it's been just 100-degree weather again, and there's no rain on the horizon for, like, another week. And it's just like 100 degrees every single day. And today, Chris and I were both like laying here in the afternoon, like, today's a hot day. Like, it's warm out there today. And so the cats like were in here all day until about 5:30. They started going out.
Hello?
All right, that quest is done. Let's go kill some bats. I think we're back. The internet totally hiccuped there for a minute. Which means my client just crashed. It hasn't actually crashed, but I'm completely locked up right now. So in a minute here, it's going to tell me that it's completely off. So we'll just go ahead and shut that down. Put something else on the screen. I'm not actually talking about Diablo 4, but this is from the recording earlier. While I reboot the game, guys. I'm rebooting now. Yep, close the program. Relaunch it. That was literally my VPN cycling. So it was like hiccup, and when it does that, it typically disconnects me from the client. And why do I run a VPN? Well, I never used to run VPNs, but living out in the boonies, I learned very quickly after the first 3 months of being here that they limit my internet. They've definitely, before I started using a VPN, there was times when they literally would cut my connection to YouTube. I would have internet connectivity everywhere else, but they're like, "Oh no, we're gonna limit you to YouTube because you've been streaming like 25 gigs of data to YouTube in the last 5 hours." So, the VPN has proven to be a very Very good workaround to them trying to block me from accessing YouTube. It's just the limitation of being on cable, because back in the city you have fiber optic. There's no limits on fiber optic. I think we're back in the game. There we go. So occasionally we have little hiccups like that. All right. I was killing bats, right? Where did it stick me? All right. We can't stop here. This is bat country. Hang on, I probably need to. He just tried to do something to me. I literally said earlier, like 3 or 4 sessions ago, I was like, I'm never going to use the throwing knife. And here I am using the throwing knife all the time to like chuck it at mobs as I'm running up to it. Alright, so that's the 8th bat dead.
Hello.
Ooh, Trousers of the Underhills. Ugh. Alright, now we go north. Oh, there's another quest. Hang on. Oh no, that's the postman. I don't need to worry about that yet. Need to search a rabbit hole. There's one right here. You found a pointy rock. Let's take the rock back to her. Wonder what the pointy rock signifies. Alright, Pansy, give me the deets.
Just a moment.
It's a goblin tooth. This confirms my suspicions. It was a goblin I saw the other day. Not just any goblin, but old Glowthimble himself. You haven't put it together yet. A long, long time ago, the Goblin King Golfimble tried to invade. So I love the name Golfimble. Tried to invade the Shire, but he was defeated by Bandobrus Took, the mighty bull roar. One swing, bull roar knocked off Golfimble's head and went flying through the air and landed in a rabbit hole. Golfimble's back, and he's been searching all the rabbit holes in the green fields for his missing head. This is terrible. You need to bring this tooth to Bounder Primstone at the watch offices of Brockenbrains. Hurry. Remember how this is how the sport of golf was invented, if you remember from the books.
Can I take a moment?
Well, if we're going to Brockenbrains, I'm going to deliver the mail. Since we're heading that direction anyways. For those of you who might not be aware, if you haven't checked it out yet, oh, there's a nosy hobbit right there, man, right in my way. I was initially kind of skeptical about the frack. Where am I delivering the mail? It says over there somewhere. How do I get up there without getting hit by nosy hobbits? So, initially skeptical about it, but the Abomination Vaults ARPG for Pathfinder is it. I don't get hyped about games, and everything they have on their Kickstarter so far is artist rendering for the purpose of showing off a concept. So they still have a long way to go to making that game a reality. But when I was talking about Diablo 4 this morning, I was thinking, ARPGs haven't ever really grabbed me because I need there to be good lore and story behind them, and a lot of times there's not. They're just loot games. I've always enjoyed Diablo because there's always been a story behind it. Like Path of Exile, I tried, I didn't get into the story. I know some people say, "Oh, there's a story there, but you got to get through all this low-level stuff that's just like, ugh," and I couldn't get into it. Kind of like Final Fantasy 14. There needs to be more in the beginning. I just played something recently too where I felt the story was really weak in the beginning, but then it got really good. Oh, one of the games, Neverwinter, as an example, Neverwinter Online, that tutorial is like the worst piece of shit I have ever played. But once you get past the tutorial, the story is actually quite fun. Um, I'm interested in Abomination's Vault, not enough to back it on Kickstarter. That ain't gonna happen. But I am interested enough in it to see how are they going to be able to pull this off because I don't know enough about Pathfinder, but I want to learn more about Pathfinder. And as I've been learning, I'm beginning to realize what a rich world it is. And so I'm very interested to see what they're going to pull off with it. And assuming it's a successful Kickstarter, which I think it will be, hopefully that comes out and I can actually try it. We have a whole bunch of quests we could turn in here and pick up. Ponto Hornblower.
Might
Have
I
you
have a
heard the
word with you?
rumors? They say in Pansy Tunnel I saw a goblin in the green fields. Alright, we need to kill some goblins, which I'm going up there anyway for a different quest. Brockenborian's Watch Office. Bound of Primstone.
How do you do?
Why are you showing me this pointy stone? Goblin too? This is a joke. Pansy Tunnel, he thinks that Golfimmer's wandering around the green fields, reaching into rabbit holes in search of his missing head. She'd think she'd have mentioned whether the goblin she saw didn't have a head to begin with, wouldn't you? Seems a rather important detail. No. Golfimmer is long dead. We got no business upsetting people with talk that he's come back. I agree, sir. That shirt is horrible looking. However, it's got a ton of agility on it, so I will take it.
Please, stay a moment.
We've been under pressure lately from folk in Brockenborns, complaining that Mayor Whitfoot hasn't done enough to deal with problems in the Shire. Maybe we should make absolutely sure that Miss Tunnelly's goblin is a figment of her imagination. There's a hunter of some kind who camps out in the greenfield named Halros, one of the big folk. He seems to be a decent enough fellow. Ooh, so we're gonna go find a ranger. That's one of the reasons I love questing in the Shire. It's just such a cool place to adventure. Meh. Nothing like memories of your first girlfriend, eh? Alright. Is that the last pie? Alright, we'll do you here in a minute. Okay, Tavern Keep. Oh, I like Rollo's waistcoat. Does he have a rag in his hip? No. I like your waistcoat too.
Could I take a moment of your time?
Go to Scary and find out what happened to my order. Let's do that first. Oh. Hold on. What do I want to do here? Let's go to scary first, and when we come back, we'll deliver the pie. I was a bit of a player, Mujin. I like to play the field. Um, not. I never really pursued girls in the U.S. Um, I think these days there's a term for um, guys like me, which is passport bros. So I always was, I always traveled with my money. I always used my money to travel. That was my big thing. And so I always would meet girls abroad when I was traveling. And the I'm a mysterious writer card worked very well in my favor. You show up in town, you're there for a few months. You have a few different flings while you're there. Some of those turn into long-term friendships.
Is
Some
there
of them are
something I
just
can do for you?
flings. But yeah, I don't think I ever really had a you know type per se. I'm not really traditionally into blondes. I definitely like the Mediterranean, Latin, dark skin, dark hair. My sister's a blonde. I can't date. I can't. It's yeah. I can't. Powdered gypsum. Follow the stars. Alright, we need to go deliver the pie. And then in my 20s, during my 20s, I had a long-term relationship with a girl from Bulgaria who was into gaming, so we both gamed together and led the guild together. That was about 8 years, so pretty much my whole 20s was that. And then when I was a teenager, um, I got kicked out of my house when I was a kid, when I was like 15 and a half. So by the time I was 16, I was living on my own. And where I lived when I was 16 and 17 for 2 years, um, one of the roommates worked at a strip club. So there was like 2 years
Might
of
I have a word with you?
crazy, crazy parties when I first got out on my own. And then 18, 19, I was living with my high school buddies, and that was when we were doing all the D&D stuff. So it was just, I don't think there was like a 2 year period where I didn't really worry about girls because I'd gotten it all out of my system when I was like 16, 17, and so 18 and 19, I was just hanging out, partaking of the Devil's Lettuce with my high school buddies, and just playing lots and lots of D&D for a couple of years. That was when I created the Saga Lucinia. And then I know when I got to Mexico in particular, there was a few years where I would not recommend anyone ever do this, but I got into the whole I don't even know the terminology for it anymore. Um, it's the let's just say the Andrew Tate mentality of dealing with chicks, which is not long term. But I had a very bad breakup, and it led me to be a not very. I was very aggressive for a couple of years about just like, nope, no time for nothing serious. Bring me my coffee and shut up. And then I met Chris, and I stopped all of that and settled down into a fulfilling and long-lasting relationship. But before Chris, I think everybody has their time when they want to sow wild oats, especially if you're a guy. But I mean, I think that's the same for anybody. I love my brother to death. Love my sister-in-law. But they also, and I said this openly when they got married. I thought I thought they got married way too young. And that's not to say that, they're not going to have a long, fulfilling marriage and everything else, but, they were together from high school and got married very, very, very young. And I just have this mentality of like having gone through, my 20s, and everything else. I don't think that I was mentally mature enough to be married until I was in my 30s. Because my 20s, I was still, I was still discovering who I am. There was still a lot of, mistakes were made during that relationship, as an example. I don't blame the divorce on. I mean, there were definitely both sides to that story. Man, am I going to be able to get across here because of that hungry hobbit? I don't want to jump in the river because I'll lose the... Is there another bridge? The problem is you lose the pie if you jump in the water, don't you? Frack. Alright, I'm going to try it down over here and see if I can't maybe get across. Here goes nothing. No, I lost the pie, son of a bitch. Alright, I do not know how I'm going to get that pie from Brockenborians. Maybe I have to take the... Because there's literally someone right there at the bridge. Do I have to take the southern route?
Good day.
Alright, we're going to try that again. Anyway, if there's a longer conversation to be had about how I think that when you look at the U.S. in particular, there's a lot of issues with how heavily the court system favors one side over the other, and how there's just way too many people who abuse that system to take half of someone's assets. And I've seen some really horrific things happen to amazing people because that system is set up to make one side, abjectly fail and the other side win. And I decided early that I didn't want to participate in that system. So I never really dated a lot in the U.S. When I was a teenager, yes, but I don't really think you're not really dating when you're a teenager. When you're a teenager, it's like you're exploring, I took the wrong way again, didn't I? Hold up. Surely there's a way to get across, but I think hopefully I got enough time to go the other way. I forgot that I can't get across that bridge. But definitely, in your teens, you're learning. What do I like? There's a lot of experimentation. Your hormones are going all over the place. I didn't have a preference for, dark-skinned, brown-skinned women when I was a teenager. It was anything with boobs. I think as every teenage boy feels. It's like, oh my God. Um, you know, or maybe not if you swing the other way. It's all good. A hunger habit is smell the pie because I'm talking and not paying attention. Um, but yeah, I don't think I really started worrying about what kind of women I was interested in until I was in my early 20s, and then I got into a long-term relationship, and then I got into my 30s and came to Mexico after I got divorced, and I had a very frivolous. Where did I just run into a hobbit that I'm not paying attention to? I had a very frivolous time in Mexico and Colombia and Serbia and some other places. How the hell are we supposed to get this pie where it needs to go? If I go that way, I'm immediately getting stuck in the bridge going north into Hobbiton. Can I head south maybe when I get out of here? See if I can get out of town this way. Another way to think about it too is I remember when I was in Cancun, one of the guys I used to hang out with a lot, was sort of like a good friend while I lived there. For about 4 years we used to hang out a lot, and he was in his 40s and made good money, and he only dated strippers. That was it. He just dated escorts and strippers. That was the only thing he dated, but he made a ton of money, so it was a crazy thing to see that because, I mean, we're talking thousands of dollars a month spent on arm candy. It was crazy to think about. Alright, let's try to get through this town and across the bridge. There's a nosy hobbit. We're looking for hungry hobbits. Let's get me across the bridge, please. Alright, so far it's only been nosy hobbits, not hungry hobbits. And I feel like we're running out of time. This is going to be a close one. Uh-oh. No! Now is not the time for a server hiccup. Do not fuck me on this. Alright, there's a hungry hobbit. Shit, there's 2 hungry hobbits. I'm not gonna be able to get through there. Damn it. Alright. We're getting there. Oh, motherfucker! Where did he come from? The hungry hobbit. Oh man, I'm about ready to be upset with this quest. Am I close to a horse? No. Fuck. There's got to be a way to get that pie across the river. I don't remember having this. I don't remember having problems delivering this pie the last time I played. I swear that one literally just popped up out of nowhere, like spawned on top of me, or there was server lag. Because just before that, I was saying that I thought it was going to log me out because we had there was server pause for a minute. And no, it was not my internet; it was the server lag. Rawr, rawr, grumble, grumble, grumble. Well, I might save that pie for later. It's the last pie, though. I kind of want to get it done. I remember bringing it from the north last time, but there's that hobbit hanging out right at the bridge when you get into town.
A lovely day, isn't it?
All right, I'm gonna look this up real quick. Alright, we're gonna give this one more shot. If I can't get it done this time, I'm gonna call it on that quest and do something else.
Might I have a word with you?
It's because I probably because I need to have a proper smoke before I, in Hobbit style, you know, before we run off and do this quest. We're gonna try this way again. Maybe there's something I missed around that bridge, because I sure as shit think I remember doing it from this side last time. I don't remember having an issue getting across the bridge. That's very curious to me. Because we can't go in the water or we lose the pie. But there was definitely a nosy hobbit or a hungry hobbit like wandering right in front of the bridge. Don't tempt me, Mujin. Oh, there's a quest here? How did I miss a quest? We need to remember to come back and check what that quest is. Do, 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 do. Oh my god. The Death Knight was a lot of fun to play. I don't think I would ever play it again, but it was a very interesting class. It was enjoyable, but I still think the most fun I've had playing World of Warcraft has been with the Hunter. I just think the Hunter is a lot of fun with the pet and everything. I enjoyed the Druid a little bit, but I think the Hunter takes the cake for me in World of Warcraft. Alright, how do I get across the bridge? Dude, check it out, that hobbit. Okay, there he is. I was going to say that hobbit's not there, but she totally is. There's got to be a way, and I can't stealth. So I wonder if I let her path all the way to the right, and then jump to the left if I can get around her. Oh man, I don't know. That's gonna be a risky venture. I'm gonna try it. When she goes back... Oh shit, she just wandered. Oh no, and I fell in the water. Oh, I didn't drop the pie. Fuck me, run. Run! How did I not drop the pie? I don't care. Go, 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 go. Yes! Is that not the last pie? What pie have I missed? Oh my goodness. I apparently still have more pies. I wonder if that quest that we saw back up in Overhill was a pie. Because apparently I still have pies to deliver. I think I delivered one. No, because the one I delivered to the party tree was the first one I took back, I think. Ooh, that might be time to dip into my evening beverage. It is 7:20 my time. And I have a craving for a hot dog. Pramela Driggins, what is your quest? Building the
Could
Mickle
I take a
Delving
moment of your
Homestead.
time?
Okay. say we can hold on to that quest because that's the housing quest. I mean, it's XP, but I'm genuinely curious where I missed a pie. Because I want my title. I don't think I'll ever play World of Warcraft again, to be honest with you. That's kind of like the way it ended and the way people ended it left such a horrible taste in my mouth. My brother and I talked about this. Like he wanted to play World of Warcraft for years and years and years. He finally got the chance to do it. People made promises and commitments, and those people didn't hold up their end of the promise. People flaked out, got all fucked up emotionally in stupid ways, and let egos get in the way, and it turned into, you know, instead of being a fun thing that 150 people were participating in, it was a thing where, you know, some people were upset and other people were getting upset, and people let egos and emotions get in the way, and then it all just came crashing down, and it was like, this fucking sucks. I don't ever want to do an M. I think that was literally that was the straw that broke the camel's back for my brother and I. After doing multiple, you know, we had 8 years of really good times with like EverQuest 2 and Lord of the Rings Online, and you know, the original when Classic first launched, we had a good run there. So that just it put such a sour taste in our mouth that neither one of us, it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm never gonna. My brother flat out was like, I'll never touch World of Warcraft ever again, because that whole experience tainted it so badly for him that he's just like, nope, it's always gonna smell and taste like shit now. I was like, that's fair enough, you know. It's one of the reasons I'm not really into EverQuest right now, is because of just I've begun to understand that as fun as that game was for me for many, many years, there's a type of people who play that game, and it's like the scary P99 rednecks, neckbeards, that they don't want the MMORPG industry to move forward. They want it to remain stuck in the past and old school or go home, and it's like, nah, I want to see innovations. I don't want to be stuck in the past. You're not wrong though about Boogene, about just forget the guild crap and do quests and dungeons. Like, I had fun playing World of Warcraft Classic. Bubbaloni says, that has been my experience with the WoW community every time I tried to play since 2015 or so. So that's my brother's complaint. Bubbaloni is he tried for many years to get into the game, and he never could because he would always run into bad crowds. And so he kept asking me, and he's like, come on, man, let's you and I do. My brother and I have played many games together before. My brother and I play pretty much every year together, especially during the winter months. Like right now we're playing Halo together. Like this morning, I got up at 3:30 in the morning. Yesterday I got up at 3:30 in the morning, and I play with my brother, you know. And we'll usually play through a variety of games like that over the years. We've been doing that since probably 2010. It's been 12 or so years that I've played with my brother like that. And so we finally had the opportunity to play World of Warcraft together. And even though we were the ones, you know, running the show, it still turned into a shit show because people... I'm just going to leave it at that because of people. I've just come to realize that you can't trust people. You can't rely on people. You just got to fucking realize that there's no such thing as loyalty anymore. I think the most fucked up thing that pissed me off, and I'll never forget, I blocked these people from my channel. They're the first people I ever blocked from my channel. But we made it clear for months in advance that we were not going to do hardcore raiding. We wanted to do it without reading guides. We wanted to do it without looking up strategies. And we wanted to do it here on these dates at these times. And these were the two people who were going to be the main tanks, me and someone else. And then we got to raid time, and all of a sudden we had, you know, like 15 people who were like, oh, we need to raid now. We got to be going fast, hurry. Oh, I don't get to be the tank. I want to be the main tank. And it's like, no, this is not your guild. If you want to be the main tank, you form your own guild. You know, you've known for the 6 months you've been in this guild that this is how we were doing things. And I'll never forget that there was a group of like 15 people left one night, 20 people or something, because they wanted to raid more frequently than we were raiding, and they wanted to do it fast. And I remember some of them came. We did our first run on whatever that zone. It was the first raid in Wrath of the Lich King, right? That first, I don't even remember the name of it. But we did our first run, and we cleared, I don't remember, 3 boss mobs or something the first time. No strategies. We didn't look anything up. We just went in and we did it. And maybe it was 2 the first time, and then the next time we did 3, and then the next time we did 4, and then the next time we did 5. And we were progressing week by week, slowly but surely. And some of those asshats who left the guild just came out of nowhere and just were on one of my videos making comments about how stupid we were for wanting to try raids without looking up strategies, and how pathetic we were as players because we were failing over and over and over on content that we should have breezed through, but because we refused to read a guide, we sucked as players because we were taking too long, and we should have been able to clear like the whole raid zone in 2 or 3 times, and it's just proof that we never would have been able to manage it, with 40 man raid teams. And I'm like, I'm so glad that those people left, and also I'm just done with trying to lead dipshits. That's literally what it comes to. I'm tired of trying to deal with dipshits. I have no desire to manage dipshits anymore. Because running a guild, that's what you're going to do. You're going to manage dipshits for a living. Just, that's the reality. It's going to be, even in the last EverQuest run we did, we had that one asshat who during a live stream called Joe out and called him a noob and an idiot because he had never pulled before. He had never raided before, and we let him pull some encounters on a 25-year-old raid, and here's this one guy in the guild who's like, this guy fucking sucks, he doesn't know how to fucking pull. I'm like, dude, you're getting upset about content it's 25 years old, what is wrong with you?
How can I be of service?
People, man. Sorry, that's a rant, by the way. You got me ranting. Anyway, he just says, I want to see innovation, but so many are coping well. We're stuck either WoW clones or old school. Nax is the name of the raid, yeah. Correct, there's nothing wrong with that, but some people have this mentality of just like, I had somebody, whenever Kaladin released for EverQuest 2, that server, we were doing our guild thing, 75, 80 people having fun, and somebody sent me a tell, was like, I love your videos, everything else, and he did a humble brag where he was like, yeah, our guild just took down, the dragon, for that first dragon for is it the prismatic weapon? The prismatic 1.0. But he did like 3 different tells where he was like bragging about how his guild was so amazing, and they took out the content, and the server had only been up for like a few days, and I just kind of laughed and was like, that's cool, man, good for you. I did that 25 years ago when it was new, and I didn't have a guide, and I had to figure it out with my guild, and we got world first, on server first on that one. We got world first on the prismatic 2.0s way back in the day. But like these days, it's like that. There's so many guides you can look up. Am I getting early access? No, I'm not going to buy the early access. I'm just going to buy the normal $70 one. I don't need early access. I think if early access meant something, I might be willing to pay for it. But the reality is, like, they gave out so many early copies to like reviewers and streamers. Like, there's already people who have already completed the game because they were given early copies of it, and they're already producing content and guides and everything else around it. And it's like, there's no point in spending an extra, $50 to buy an early access copy to try to compete with those people. If I'm already going to be behind the curve creating guides, I'll do it at my own pace with just the base copy of the game. I will probably play a rogue to start because I like the archer build. So I will definitely do a rogue archer for the first playthrough, and then I will do a sorcerer for the second. So I already have my first 2 playthroughs planned. Beyond that, I don't have any preference. Beyond that, I will be playing to fulfill the needs of guides. So I will definitely level up each class 1 to 50 so that I can make a ultimate guide for that class. But primary is going to be a rogue archer, and then I'll do the sorcerer next.
Might I speak with you a moment?
Alright, we need to find stolen sheep. So these are actually listed as fellowship quests, so I don't know how this is gonna... Bubble and it says, I prog elementals in time, 7 straight months, 3 nights a week, fighting other guilds for pop, and I also played games with guides. As long as you're upfront about what you want, it's all good. Well, yeah, I thought that was going to be the case. I was very shocked and surprised when we had like 15, 20 people in World of Warcraft who were all of a sudden, after 6 months, surprised that one of them was surprised that he wasn't going to get to be the main tank. It was like, dude, you've known for 6 months that you were not, that I was going to be one of the main tanks. You know, like there should have been no surprise about that. And the other one was, you know, we've been making videos about this shit for 6 months and talking about what the plan is and everything else. And you've been in the guild for 6 months, watching our videos, watching the live streams, and suddenly you're surprised that we don't want to read guides to do the content. Like, some people just don't fucking pay attention. Is what it comes down to. Muji says, what I don't get is people who say they want a classic server and they want to relive the nostalgia and then turn around and install all the mods that take away rediscovery. Yeah, that's another good point. You know, like, one of the many things I don't understand about World of Warcraft. Rogue is a good class, says Tidal Wave Dave. I'm rolling a Necro even though they nerfed him. Muji says, when I think of reliving something, I think of doing shit as it was, and then you just find the stuff on your own. I tell you, one was wild. Was I logged into Knights of the Old Republic for the first time in a long time. The other day to do a video on it, and I forgot they never did like an enhanced edition of that game. And holy shit, are the controls clunky as fuck on the, at least on the mouse and keyboard. Like, I remember playing that on the Xbox years ago, and I don't remember the movement controls being clunky, but it all felt a little clunky on the uh-oh. Okay, we're good. A little bit of lag. I think it's server lag though, not my internet. Alright, probably need to kill all this stuff before we set that shit. Let's get out of here. Alright, so she's not going to follow me. She's going to do her own path, which means we're going to have to protect her on the way out. Oh, let's go get these guys. No, no, no. Get up in here. Get up in here. Get up in here. Get on it. Get on it. That's the gypsy too. Man, that's a lot of bleeds on me. Do I have time to grab this before the sheep runs? Man, I'm at half health though. I hope I don't get hit again. Oh, shit. We got all sorts of stuff coming after. Maybe they're not going to follow us all the way. They're definitely following us, but I wonder if they're not going to do any damage. Alright.
Hello.
Mungle's old bracelet? I don't have a bracelet yet? Those guys are going to come all the way over here. Alright. Woot! Got a couple of bracelets I didn't have apparently. Alright, let's use those. Okay, do I have any other ones that I need to use? I need to sell, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, the bear death animations are pretty awesome. Yeah, I think a lot of people do that for every game these days, though. I think I'm responding to Tidal Wave. He says people are just trying to pick it apart. I think that any game that launches these days, I've noticed a habit. Well, I'll tell you, it goes beyond just gaming. It's people generally want to just be bitter old bitches about everything out there. Because I've noticed, like, if I go out and just rant about how much I hate Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons and Dragons because they're evil corporation, misery, blah blah blah, or how much I hate Amazon because of Rings of Power and misery. Misery loves company. When I do those types of videos, when I make rant videos, the rant videos always get thousands of views. But I don't always like to rant about shit. Like, sometimes it's a valid point, and sometimes there's valid reasons to rant. But to just continually rant all the time and never find good in anything is annoying as fuck. And I really can't tolerate like the people who are just like anti-Disney, anti-Netflix, anti-everybody, because, reasons. It's like, just can't you find a little bit of enjoyment in something in life? Because even if you hate Rings of Power because you think that it's a horrible adaptation, which it is, it still had things that were cool in it. Like, some of the visual effects were really good. Some of the music was really good. There were things that were good. Lord of the Rings Online, older game, still has some good. Diablo 4, it's like, I see so many people bitching. Here's my favorite. The Battle Pass. It's gonna ruin Diablo 4, the Battle Pass. What the fuck are you on about? If you play the PvE game, strip the multiplayer out of it for a moment. If you play the PvE game, and you're there for the story, and you're there to have fun, and you just want to level up old school, 5 different classes and play with your friends, and have fun and have it be a loot fest, everything else, the Battle Pass has nothing to do with you, anything, ever. The Battle Pass only applies if you want to be a progressive player who's playing that multiplayer, who's playing to be on the top of the leaderboards, and you're trying to be, a a competitive player. That's what the Battle Pass is for. I never pay money for the Battle Pass for Call of Duty, and I get great enjoyment out of the DMZ and Warzone, and I never need to pay for the Battle Pass. Pay your $60, $70, whatever it is for the base game. Go play the game. That's it. You have no reason to bitch about a Battle Pass when it doesn't fucking affect you. None whatsoever. So all these people who bitch and moan about Battle Passes, or who like to bitch and moan about how this is one of my favorites, and I may offend some people, so I apologize for this in advance, but it is what it is. People who bitch about monetization for MMOs, and they're like, I don't like multi. My favorite is people who say, I don't like microtransactions because it's predatory. That is not a valid reason to not like something, because what is predatory? Well, there's your opinion of what is predatory, and then there's what's actually predatory. People use that word in a way that they don't actually understand how it's being used, because there is nothing wrong with monetizing a product. There's nothing nefarious about that. Every company needs to survive, and every company has a right to profit under capitalist rules. And if you want the players out there, if you want Lord of the Rings Online to exist, or Star Wars: The Old Republic to exist, if you want these games to exist, then you have to accept that their version of monetization is the only way that it stays up. And I've had a lot of backroom meetings in my time in game development, and I've talked to a lot of different people about monetization. And at the end of the day, every conversation I've ever had with a creative director or a manager or a producer on an MMORPG product, they have all told me the same thing. It does not matter what monetization method you choose for your game. Some people will love it, some people will hate it. You'll still have the same amount of people playing it. It's just a matter of how do you want to monetize it. Do you want to develop it around a cash shop, or do you want to develop it around something different? Now, these days, it's all developed around cash shops, because that has proven to be an easier method of monetizing compared to a subscription fee, because it reduces the burden of content creation and instead allows you to just put things up on a store that are perpetual, and then you add new things to that inventory as time goes along, and you can run sales and everything else, and it's a great way. It works. It works. And yes, Tidal Wave says, if they don't monetize it, then you don't get expansions, updates, and improvements. And so many people are like, oh, I only want to play a subscription because subscription is the best way. I'm going to give you a good example. There was an MMORPG that I was previously involved in, and I started off wanting to only do subscriber, and then I changed my mind about 7 years in and said, actually, no, I think it's better to do like an ESO method where you have an upfront, you can buy the product, play the product, get access to it. Then there's limitations on what you get for that. And then if you want the quality of life perks, you can go over here and pay a subscription and get monthly coins. And you can have tiered subscriptions like Netflix does, where you have like 3 different tiers depending on what person wants to pay. Do they want to pay $7 a month, $12 a month, $18 a month? And then you give them higher levels of quality of life perks, none of which affect other players, because it's a PvE game, and in a PvE game there is no such thing as an unfair advantage or some sort of competition, because there is no player versus player, and if there's no player versus player, there is no competitive advantage whatsoever, because how someone else chooses to play the game does not fucking impact you in a PvE game at all. It's your ego that lets you think that that person is achieving something because they've done it faster than you, because they had a bigger guild, or they had more time than you, or anything else. But because it's PvE, there's no competitive advantage to that person doing something faster than you. They just did it faster. And so there is no argument when people say, well, it's an unfair advantage when somebody gets an XP pot. No, it's not. There's no unfair advantage in that. They have disposable income. It's no different than if I choose to have Amazon Prime and you don't. I'm going to get my things overnight or in 48 hours, and you're going to have to wait 6 days. That's life. I chose to pay for the quality of life improvement. I used my disposable income to give myself a bonus to how quickly I get things done. That's not a competitive advantage when it comes to PvE, and I'm ranting now, so anyway. Bubbloni says RE rants back on the easy board days, which I very do fondly remember. Graphs was known as the wizard board, and we swapped strategies, posted guest info, then we made a rant board, and after a while, that's all we were was rants. Yeah, because misery loves company, and people just like to bitch about things, which is what I'm doing right now. My bitch and moan. That's why, like, if I looked to any streamer that I think provides the type of quality content that I want to be able to provide long term, I would say look at like Carnage, because I think he can be a little over the top sometimes with like, oh my god, this is the best thing I've ever seen. But he has been a very genuine individual for the whole time I've ever watched him. And I don't subscribe to him. I don't passionately follow him. I occasionally watch him, and the only reason I know about him is because of the Pantheon streams. But over the years, I've watched him play other games. And Carnage is a very wholesome person, or seems to be, in comparison to, say, Asmongold or, you know, Dr. Disrespect, you know. I think everybody has room to provide content without necessarily focusing on being obnoxious or negative or anything else. I got a lot of mileage out of being ranty about Rings of Power, but the moment I started actually saying, hey guys, you know, like one of my favorites was people who wanted to just hate on Amazon because they were like, Rings of Power sucked and they ruined Tolkien and I'm going to hate Amazon forever until the end of time and Amazon needs to burn as a company because of what they did. They purposefully tried to ruin Tolkien. And I'm like, you do realize that Amazon has produced like 500 pieces of television and film since they started, and most of those are really good. Many have won awards. They die of one death. Oh my god, it's another one! Those bleeds are deadly, man. Do I have any, like, anti... I don't. That was interesting. Anyway, I may not have the audio volume correct. I noticed that the sound was way loud during that fight. Anyway, that's the end of my rantiness for the moment. I think one of my most favorite meetings that I had over the years was, I think it was with Starlong, and when I was at the offices when Shroud of the Avatar still had offices, and I got to sit down and look at some spreadsheets of data from like 6 different MMOs that all had different monetization strategies. And they all had a very similar end result at the end of the year based on population numbers. And so what you could do is you can then break it down into the lifetime value of a customer. So this gets into marketing KPIs and stuff, but when you're looking at what the lifetime value of an MMORPG customer is, it's traditionally around $250. So what that means is, it doesn't fucking matter how the game is monetized. The average MMORPG spends $225 to $250 on their game. It does not matter what monetization method is used. That is the average lifetime value for an MMORPG player, $225 to $250. So it doesn't matter if you give them a monthly sub. Over the course of, you know, the lifetime of a game, the average player is going to spend that amount of money over the period of, you know, say 5+ years. Which is why, if you remember back in the day, you know, Lord of the Rings Online offered lifetime memberships for like $250, $300. Same thing with, I think EverQuest 2 might have done that at some point. I don't remember if that's true or not. I vaguely remember them doing something like that. There's Prunella's umbrella. I think we're done here, and we have just pure turn-ins now. I think the only limitation I found from Star Wars: The Old Republic, and it didn't impact me at all when I was just playing for my own enjoyment, but when I decided that we wanted to get a guild spun up, you have to have more than 1,000,000 credits, and the free-to-play character only gets 1,000,000 credits. So you have to be able to get past the cash block, and the only way to do that is with a sub. Now, Lord of the Rings Online used to do that, but they also allowed you to buy your way out of it. So you could use Lotro points to buy the removal of the cash block. So you could then accumulate, which is what my brother did years and years ago. My brother, the first thing he bought from the Lotro store was the ability to have however much cash he wanted. But in Star Wars: The Old Republic, you know, the cash limitation, when I decided I wanted to buy a guild ship, was like, okay, I'm going to have to sub for at least a month because you've got to get rid of the cash limit because I need 8,000,000 credits. And then the crew skill thing, which only applies if you're going to be a crafter. If you don't craft and you don't want to start a guild, then there's no reason to ever need to spend money in the cash shop in Lotro if you don't want to. Now, because everything in the Lotro cash shop is literally cosmetic. It's all cosmetic. That's it. 100% cosmetic based. There are a couple of content locks, but it's optional. That has nothing to do with like progression content. So it's never going to impact the average everyday player who's just playing the game to have fun. The original Secret World had lifetime memberships as well. Interesting. I didn't know that.
What do you need?
The goblins are led by a chieftain. There are rumors that he reports to someone else, but I have not learned who that is.
What do you need?
2 goblin encampments. I cannot understand what would bring goblins to the Shire after so long and in such numbers. Bound of Primstone must be warned of the grave threat these goblins pose, not prose. Alright, so I need to report. Let's go turn in the umbrella first. Man, outfits are such a great way to monetize. Like, that's one of the things. Here's another argument I will never agree with, and I came up against it a lot when I was managing Saga Lucemia, because you had all these people who were like, if you didn't earn it, you shouldn't be able to wear it. You know, like they want 100% of their cosmetic gear to be wearable gear from the game. I'm like, those days are fucking gone. I'm sorry. Those days are gone. That's like wishing that we still could. That's like wishing that the whole world still used wooden sailboats to get across the ocean because you have nostalgia for wooden sailboats. Get the fuck out of here with this whole, you know, yeah, you need to be what you wear and that's it. That's the only thing that should be visible is what you wear. The modern gamer is probably a streamer. They probably have social media. They definitely want to be taking screenshots of their character. They want to be panning that camera around. They want a photo mode. They want to take cutesy photos for their thumbnails. They want to take cutesy photos for their social media. They want their character to look a very specific way, and they should be able to have access to ways to make that character look the way they want it to look because they are paying money to have access to that stuff. So I'm all for allowing people as many options to cosmetically make their character look cool as possible and monetize the fuck out of that shit because that is a great tool. People, it has nothing to do with gameplay content, nothing. And people who argue, I will sit here from a game developer standpoint and I will tell you that you're wrong 100% of the time if you're someone who says that cosmetic gear equals progression, like that's the same type of progression as raid content, and that it needs to be only gear that you earn in the game. That is an absolute complete rejection of modern gameplay reality. The way society plays games, they need cosmetics. They have to have it. They need to be able to have that look at my avatar, have the avatar look the way I want it to look so that I can have the character that I want for streaming and social media. That is so important. Bubbleoni says, I'm a huge Fallout fan. I have MMO hours in New Vegas and 4 just modding the thing. 1 purchase, 3 mods. I have to pay yearly for Fallout, even though I play 4 more. I figure Todd needs a new jacket, and the least I can do. I'm really looking forward to Starfield. I think that if they can pull the Starfield launch off well, that's going to be the start of a franchise that I'm going to spend the next 10, 15 years really immersing myself in. Because I'll tell you, I am kind of sick to death of fantasy. Like, I'm having a lot of fun with our Starfinder group because it's sci-fi and it's different. And there's just not enough sci-fi out there when it comes to MMOs. There's just not. Or multiplayer games or whatever. You know, all these MMOs and all these games, it's all fantasy. Like, it's really hard to find good science fiction. Not that it doesn't exist. Mass Effect is a great or great science fiction series as an example. I know people love Final Fantasy. There are examples, but the majority, I would say 85%, is fantasy based. One of the reasons I'm looking forward to Dune as an MMO so much is because it's sci-fi and I love Dune. Starfield looks very fun to me, and I'm really hoping that they can pull that off in a way that inspires people to, you know, have. Yeah, you may never see me again after Starfield comes out. Not gonna lie, dude, I'm in the same boat, man. Like, I've been like the whole reason I signed up for Game Pass in the first place was like partially motivated by the fact that Obsidian is under Microsoft now and Bethesda. So I'm going to get all Bethesda games and all Obsidian games included in my Microsoft subscription. I was like, that for me alone is worth it because even if I'm paying $15 a month, you know, I get all these other games, but then every once in a while I get a new Obsidian game or I get a new Bethesda game, and I like those two companies, so I'm gonna go crazy when Starfield comes out. They faked
Is there something I can do for you?
Think she met her head. Okay. Pernella's been visiting me all day. What?
Is there something I can do for you?
Might be that I got ahead of myself. So he thought she died because of her umbrella, but it turns out no. I did play the Outer Worlds. I enjoyed it. I've not. Did the second one? See, I enjoyed it, but I don't remember. Is the second one out or the second one's coming? I forget. All right, I'll probably get booted from the game because the VPN just recycled. All right. I think we're back. The internet hiccuped. My VPN was cycling. So I'll have to reload the game here real quick. Hang on a second. We'll go back to the just chatting screen so you guys don't see me as I shut down everything and have black screens. Why don't I just play Eve? Because I don't get a player avatar. This comes back to the whole, you know, people want to be able to see their avatar and customize it and be able to take screenshots and everything else. Eve does not offer me an avatar. When a game does not offer me an avatar, I just lose my interest in it. Eve Online has some interesting things going for it, but one thing I don't like is it doesn't have an avatar for my character. The ship doesn't do it for me. The ship is an inanimate object. It's not a person I can anthropomorphize. Um, and as cool as the systems are and everything, there's no story. I don't get a personal story out of Eve Online. I get missions, and the missions send you off to do lots of things, but it's not a story. It's like, oh, I'm a space trucker. Well, what's the story behind being a space trucker? There is no story. It's like you're just existing in this universe. I don't get enjoyment out of that. I need there to be a story for me to follow, like a primary storyline, a linear quest. Um, that's just how my mind works. I will say with The Witcher 3 though, they did a very good job in the after they patched a lot of it into the game of allowing you a lot more hairstyles and beard styles and other ways to customize your version of Geralt. Also, I will say this for Jedi Survivor, because one of the things Jedi Survivor did, you'll notice right away, the big difference between Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor is in Jedi Fallen Order, you now have, not just ponchos, but now you have a whole range of jackets, shirts, pants, boots, hairstyles, facial hairstyles, and things for BD1. So you could now play a customization game in Jedi Survivor. And granted, it's not monetized, but it is a way to keep players playing the game more, because now they're going to go out hunting all of these cosmetics in multiple playthroughs to get that 100% completion. It's brilliant from a game design standpoint. It works. All right. I think we're going down the road. I still want to know where I missed a pie at, and I'm going to have to end up looking that up offline some night. Figure out whose pie I missed picking up. See, with Outer Worlds, that was the thing. I played it one and done. I don't feel compelled to go back and do Outer Worlds again, as good of a game as it was. Also, I never finished. What was it called? Pentient. It was the game they launched a couple of years ago, maybe last year. So it was done in a like watercolor, old medieval art watercolor style. I mean, I never finished it. That's another Obsidian game. It got great reviews, but it's so different. It was hard for me to get into. But it has just tons of great written content. But that's because Josh Sawyer is good at that kind of stuff.
Just a moment.
Hang on, am I turning into somebody in here in the watch office?
How do you do?
You'd best go to Scary and find out from Welcome Tunnel what's going on in that quarry. Holy crap, everybody, it's 8 o'clock my time. How did that happen? Because I've not been paying attention. We've been going for 3 hours tonight. I'll be damned. Well, I hope you guys are still good. If the internet's good, I'm going to keep going for a while. I just need to go get an adult beverage. I was supposed to, I'll save that for the morning. I had some more devil's lettuce that I was going to, the last of my batch that I needed to get some more ordered in. But I'll save that for the morning. Instead, I will go get an adult beverage here in a minute. Dimly Miner says, I would play more Lotro if they supported my monitors. I don't know why they... It's an old game. I don't know what support you're thinking of. Don't know what issues you have. Moblona says, someone gives Josh Sawyer and Tim Kaine another Fallout, please. They work for the same megacorp now. It's true. The totally Obsidian and Double Fine. It's Double Fine, isn't it? Or is it an Exile? Fuck, or is Tim Kaine with Gearbox? I don't remember who's who anymore. But there's like, I feel like Obsidian and Bethesda, or Obsidian and Double Fine, or Obsidian, like there's all these companies that have all worked on these cool projects over the years. They all just need to come together and make a mega RPG.
Day, isn't it?
Well, that's just modern resolutions. Like, unfortunately, yeah, that's gonna be a hard sell for an older game, where only, you know, it's kind of like one of the reasons we're not worried about providing a Linux build for our point-and-click game is because there's like 2 people that are going to play it on Linux. It's like such a fractional percentage of a percentage of a percentage. There's no point in wasting our time developing a Linux version of a point and click game. So I'm sure that Standing Stones is in the same space where they're like, worrying about people who have beyond 1920 by 1080 resolution aren't that big of a deal to worry about because it's such a small population. And I don't know what technology they're using that makes it difficult for them to do scaling. So I can't speak to that. But I guarantee you, there's a monetary reason why it doesn't make sense for them to provide that for players with your resolution. World of Warcraft and ESO both have massive budgets compared to Lord of the Rings Online, and they have a team that's completely dedicated to modernizing the optimization and the UI and all of the other stuff. So for sure, it makes sense. I mean, that's why you can do that with ESO and Blizzard. Lotro operates on a much smaller budget. There probably is. There's probably a downloadable mod that you can use, or add-on. I think they call them add-ons in this game.
Is there something I can do for you?
That skull's got to be evil. It's what brought
Please,
this.
stay a moment.
Oh, so I need to go down here and get the skull. Is that gonna be in the cave? I bet it's in the cave. Just double checking it's not up here. I'm pretty sure it's in the cave, but you never know. Oh, they got me. Skull is in a cave at the bottom of the quarry. Alright, before we go any further, I need my adult beverage. I'll be right back. Sorry, I got sidetracked, everybody. I had to give some cats some snacks. So, not everyone can drink tonight. Some of you are on other medications, but regardless of what kind of medication you're on, salud. Oh, that needed to be chilled. That's room temperature, and it's warm out in the kitchen. Sheriff, I get. It only took me a few hours. Nothing wrong with taking a break from adult beverages from time to time. I think the longest break I've taken was about 6 months. And I can't remember when that was. A few years back. But it was around the time that I got out of the doctor, and the doctor had done a cholesterol test and was like, dude, like, you need to get your cholesterol under control. And I went, fuck, all right. So that's when I first started going to the gym, like, seriously. I spent about 6 months, put on about 25 pounds of muscle, lost a good chunk of weight at first, got my cholesterol back under control, but I didn't drink any booze during that time. Okay. I like wine, so that's a big weakness for me. We're drinking agave right now because it's cheap. Not gonna lie, like we can get a big 3-liter or 3-gallon. I think it's a 3-gallon bottle of that for like $10. So it's agave, which is like it's the plant that tequila comes from, but it's just not distilled as heavily as tequila. So rather than having that really harsh tequila burn, which, by the way, doesn't have to be harsh. If you're willing to spend, you know, 60, 75 bucks on good tequila like Herradura, Anejo, or Don Julio, it's no different than really good whiskey. So if you like really good whiskey, you'll like really good tequila. But this is, by the way, where are we delivering this? Bring the skull. Oh, we're going all the way back to Micheldelny. Okay, we'll go take the horse. I like wine, but living in the boonies now where we live, living in the countryside, there's no good liquor stores around us. So I have one small supermarket, which does not sell a very good selection of wine. I mean, they sell a couple of like Argentinian brands that have middle of the road wine, like just very basic Cab Sav, Merlots, and Malbecs, and maybe some Chards and Cabs. So it's just, you know, I don't drink as much wine as I used to because there's no liquor stores here that have a good wine selection. In the city, I mean, I would go through 5-6 bottles of wine a week. Where I live? No, it's much cheaper, Babylonia. I don't know what it costs in the States. I was making an estimation of what it costs in the States. I can get, I think it's a 750 ml bottle, I think is what they are, of Herradura Anejo. The last time I checked, it was like 40. I haven't bought that in a couple of years, to be honest with you, because once we moved and everything. About 40 bucks. I want to say 35, 40 bucks for Herradura, like the good stuff here. It costs a lot more than that in the States. I remember the last time we took a bottle up for friends. We took a bottle of Don Julio up. We got it for $30, and in the U.S. it was $85. Where we traveled to, that might not be the same everywhere else, but where we traveled to in Minnesota, it was 75, 80 bucks or whatever for that bottle, and we bought it for 30. So, yep, that sounds about right. You know, like 70, 80 dollars in the U.S. and we can get it for 35, 40. So about half price. Because we're not paying the imports and everything else, it's all local. And there are some really good tequilas down here. And I'll be honest with you, here's the fucked up thing. You want to know the best tequila I've ever had? He doesn't even own it anymore. He sold it, I think. Sammy Hagar had a brand. I don't know if he still has it. It's called Cabo Wabo Tequila. And I'm no joke, the Cabo Wabo Tequila was some of the best tequila I've ever had. No lie. I've had a lot of tequila in my time. Living in Mexico, but that Cabo Wabo tequila was actually really, really damn good. And it was a little overpriced even because it had a celebrity name attached to it, but it was actually really, really good tequila. Now Terramana, which is Dwayne Johnson's tequila brand, The Rock. I've tried his tequila. I've tried both, the Blanco and the Anejo, and honestly, it's not bad. It's not bad. But he literally just bought. It's all marketing and branding. You know, he bought the farm. He bought the distillery, and he worked with them to get a blend that he liked, and that's the blend that he's selling. And I've tried both of his tequilas, and they're not bad. They're not that great either. They're like middle of the road tequila, and I would say they're $5 or $10 a bottle overpriced. So they're not hugely overpriced, but I feel like they're definitely a little overpriced. But that's part of what you're buying, is you're buying the brand. I don't have that kind of self-control, Babylonia. Which is why Christina. This is why I had to quit drinking a few years ago when I went to the gym. So if I buy here's the problem. When I'm making good money, you know, when the income is good, I don't spend money on things. I spend money on food and alcohol, and you know, good grass. I ran by a whole bunch of quests here in Mickle Delving. I just noticed just now. And whiskey is an area where I have almost no self-control. If I know that there's steady income coming in, and I've got, say, $1,000 a month of disposable income, I will go crazy buying whiskey. And I love whiskey. And there was one month, Chris got a little. She was like, "You need to slow your roll," because I was turning around. I was going through like 2 bottles of whiskey a week, and they were not cheap. Like I was buying, you know, like Glenfiddich, 15 years. I was getting why am I blank? Talisker, which Talisker is an amazing Isle of Skye, like smoky peat flavored whiskey. And these are, you know, these bottles, they're costing $50 a pop because they're imports, you know. So I'm spending 50, 60 bucks per bottle of whiskey, and I'm going through them in like 3 nights, 4 nights. Because if I like the whiskey, I'm gonna drink a couple of glasses every night, and I'll you know, I'm not a big guy, but I do like whiskey, and that's borderline, you know, I'm drinking too much. Yes, when I'm rolling, it's like I'm gonna, you know, I'm smoking cigars every night and drinking, you know. So here's a good example. So agave is 28%. So it's more than wine, but less than tequila or mezcal. But you'll notice that's 2. It was probably 3 fingers when I started, but now it's 2. So I have thick fingers too. So, but you know, like 3 fingers. That's a good glass. You know, if I have 3 fingers of whiskey, you know, I drink it neat. I don't usually don't do any ice. I'll just drink it neat. Occasionally I'll do ice, but mostly it's neat. So I'll drink 3 fingers of whiskey, and I'm good for the night. But when I'm drinking good whiskey, it'll be like, oh, I'll drink one, and then I'll have another like 2 fingers after that first one, and then I'm like, I gotta go to bed. But that gets expensive because if you're drinking, you know, $60 bottles of whiskey, and I've never gotten into the $200 bottles of whiskey. I am very happy and content to drink a good $60 bottle. I think the 12 and 15-year-old scotches in particular, I just like them. I think that they're a good. You can get really good quality for the 12 to 15-year bracket from just about any major whiskey. Um, but I definitely prefer Scotch. So I'm not a bourbon guy. I'm not a bourbon guy. I like Scotch. So I'm either gonna be, I'm either Irish or Scottish. Like I will take any of the whiskeys from the northern realms, um, because I think it's just really good whiskey. Same thing with wine. Like I've never gotten into like $200 bottles of wine, but I like most of the stuff I like I can get for, there's great bottles of wine for 10, $15. You don't need to spend $50 if you come to want a bottle of wine. You can get really good wine for $10 if you just are willing to shop a little
Stay
bit.
and have some tea.
It's another housing quest. But Chris is very much kind of like, when Chris buys a bottle of tequila, Chris will have that bottle of tequila will last Chris 6 months. Because she'll only sip on it like once a week. She'll have a drink, and I'm like, oh no! If I know there's a bottle of something I'm drinking it at least every other night, if not every night. Like I don't have the control to be like, I'm gonna make it sit there until Friday night, and then I'm gonna have a little sippy sip. Oh no! It's like, dude, it's 6 o'clock. It's time. It's time for a
Stay
drink.
and have some tea.
Ooh, what is this? Oh, it's a burglar quest. An Adso's camp. Cool beans. Oh, I still need to deliver the skull, and I still gotta find where that stupid last pie is at. I suppose the interesting thing too, though, about
A lovely day.
I
isn't
do
it?
like to drink, but I've never been compelled to be an alcoholic, because I can go, I can go weeks without a drink sometimes, and I don't ever feel like I need it. But when I have it, I will absolutely drink the shit out of it. Have you ever met Bounder Primstone? Primstone wants to show them the club board used to knock off the head of Glorfable. Okay. Let's back to Brockenborings. We'll back up the road we go. My favorite is how Chris is like, so in Mexico, tequila is also very much treated as so in Ireland, whiskey is the same. I think in Scotland as well. I don't know enough about Scotland because I've never been, but I've been to Ireland, so I can speak to Ireland.
Hello
Whiskey
there.
is also a medicine. And in Mexico, tequila is also a medicine. So, like a hot toddy in Ireland. Like if you start getting a scratchy throat and you think you might be getting sick, you need a hot toddy. The whiskey's going to kill the germs, and it's going to put you to sleep, so that you get the rest you need to get over your sickness. So it's like it's a 2-for-1. You're getting something that's going to kill the germs, knock you out, dull the pain a little bit. You'll go to sleep and feel better after you rest. So Mexicans very much treat tequila like medicine. It's like, oh, you have a sore throat, take a shot of tequila. Oh, your nose is starting to run, take a shot of tequila. But really for sore throats. She was lamenting the fact the other day. She's like, because we didn't have anything to drink at all in the house for like 2 weeks because we hadn't gone shopping. And she got like a scratchy throat one day, and she's like, "Where's my tequila?" And I was like, I finished the bottle like 2 weeks ago." And she's like, "Why didn't you put it on the list to buy a new one?" I got yelled at. But we usually keep this in the fridge, not in the fridge, but on the counter now because it's $10 for a big old thing of it, and it's honestly we make margaritas with this, which aren't as strong as normal margaritas, but on a hot day, just throw 15 cubes of ice in the blender, about 6 to 8 shots of this, and then whatever flavoring you want, and we'll have some nice slushy margaritas at like 6 o'clock in the afternoon when it's starting to get cool outside. So we have a joke in Mexico. The tea diet is the most important diet you're ever going to have. People talk about the Atkins diet and the paleo diet, all these other things, but it's the tea diet that you need to pay attention to. So this is tacos, tamales, tortas, tortillas, tequila. Tostadas. I love Mexican food, but I will say my brother sent me a screenshot yesterday. He went to Sonic and got like a chili dog, a junior cheeseburger, and tater tots with a cherry limeade for like $6. I was like, fuck you, bro. That looks so good right now. That, and I don't know if you guys have it where you guys live, but a Steak and Shake. Like, Steak and Shake does these really awesome, like, chili bowls and chili steaks and, chicken fried steak sandwiches and cheeseburgers. And I miss those. Like, people do burgers here, and we do burgers. We do burgers all the time. But I miss, like, a greasy... there's certain restaurant chains that I really like. Like Wendy's, I love Wendy's. Like, there was a time when I was growing up, like, there used to be, I don't know if they still sell them, but it was called the Double Stack. And you could get a double stack with cheese for like 99 cents for years. And so I would go in and get 2 double stacks with cheese, a large fry, and a large drink for like $4 for years and years and years. And then it went up to like $5, but it was very affordable. But I like Wendy's. I like Sonic. I like Steak and Shake. I love In-N-Out Burger. Whataburger. I like McDonald's too. Like, I think McDonald's has some pretty good shit. I don't like Dairy Queen. Burger King, eh.
How do you do?
Enchiladas. Enchiladas are something we actually, I feel like that's more of an American, like, Tex-Mex thing. Because honestly, I've been in Mexico, like, 13 years. Chris has only made enchiladas one time in the 13 years we've been together, and I have never seen it on a restaurant menu, ever. I never see enchiladas on menus down here. I see them in, like, the United States when I go up to the U.S., so I feel like enchiladas have got to be, like, a Tex-Mex thing. That's something I might have to look up, because enchiladas have just never been a big deal down here. It's not that they don't exist. Chris has made them. She made them when we were living in, after we got married, like about during the first few months after we got married, when we had an apartment in Cancun, and I remember she made them while we had students there because we had been taking pictures and everything for the students. And she did like 3 different types of salsa so that she would have a red, green, white salsa like the Mexican flag for the students. I think it's the only time she's ever made enchiladas. It might just depend, though. It might be a more northern Mexico thing. Because here in southern Mexico, yeah, enchiladas are not... Here we've got a lot of Tostadas, tamales. Tamales are the big thing here. Tamales, tacos, tostadas. Also panuchos. Sopes y panuchos. I don't know if you know what a panucho is. Technically, a panucho can be a couple of different things. You know, panucho. It's very important in your pronunciation. Panucho is the food. The panuches. Lady parts. Teaching you guys some dirty Spanish tonight.
Greetings.
Brimstone's journey into the Goblin Cave. That brave little fool.
What do you need?
Into the cave and rescue the Bounder. Dude, I bet. Like, I remember nachos, like, and I didn't realize what good nachos were until I moved to Mexico. Also, another kind of Tex-Mex thing. Like, not they don't do nachos very often down here, but when they do, they're completely different. Also, um, fajitas. Fajitas are not like I remember like anytime I'd go to a Mexican restaurant growing up, it was like you get fajitas, you get whatever. Um, Here we do lots of soups. There's lots of soups, which was not something I knew before I lived in Mexico. But soups and stews. So we have caldo de res, caldo de pollo, all sorts of different types of bean soups, and lentil soups. And like Chris makes this lentil soup, dude, it is to die for. It's a big bowl of lentils, but she puts pork chops in it. And dude, I'm telling you, when she cooks the pork chops out on the grill, on the fire outside with the campfire smoke, and then she cooks the beans over that same fire. So she cooks the pork chops, throws those in. You put your chilies and tomato and onions and everything else. Those get sauteed out on the campfire. You throw that into the bowl. Then you get chorizo, normally chistorro, which is like the coil. It's like a little coil. It's like probably the width of my finger, but it's coiled up in like a circle. And you take that and you cut it up into little, bite-sized bits. You fry that up. You throw that in there. And then she takes plantain, which are the big macho bananas, and fries those and then throws those in the pot. That lentil, that bowl of lentil, it's not soup, but it's a big bowl of lentils. Those lentils are so good. And then like frijoles charros, just nobody in the United States has ever had like, unless you lived in SoCal or certain parts. Now it's becoming more popular now, but like frijoles charros. Like, it's like the Mexican version of baked beans, but there's so much more going on because of all the flavors and the spices and everything else, as opposed to now good baked beans are etc. And mole, yeah, mole. And if you were in Mexico City, yeah, you were at the home front because it's from Puebla, so Mexico City is right around the street from Puebla, so um, mole is definitely one of those things that you're only gonna find really good mole in Mexico, and the closer you are to Puebla, the better the mole is gonna be.
The goblins of Mount Graham have never forgotten their defeat at the hands of the Shire folk, and revenge has brought them hither once more.
Yes, and on top of that, I can't remember the name. He's a comedian from New York. He's always on the Joe Rogan show, but he's got his own podcast now too. He was talking about how the best food you're ever gonna have is from cultures. I'm gonna say something that might offend some people, but I'm just gonna say it. Those are not my words. He's got a comedic bit, which is also very truthful. He says the best foods come from cultures that are considered poor by the United States, and there are also cultures where the women still stay home and cook. So in the cultures where women are still very much housewives, and the man works and has their traditional patriarchal society, um, um, those cultures tend to have way better food. And it's like it's a weird thing where in the cultures where there's still a focus on homemaking, you know, the food is very, very delicious, and yet these cultures don't make a lot of money, and they're not, first world cultures by many, they're developing cultures or second or third world, and yet the food from these places is absolutely to die for. Um, it's a very interesting. I can't do the comedic bit because he has a joke around that, but it's a very interesting observation to understand. And yes, a German bratwurst tastes very different in Germany than it does to American bratwursts. Which is also why when I grew up in Colorado, as an example, what I thought was chorizo was not chorizo. So I thought that the limited, like, green and red types of chorizos that they sold in the supermarkets, I thought that was Mexican sausage. Oh, fuck no. You get to Mexico and it's like there are 50 different kinds of chorizo. Then you go to Spain and they have 500 different types of chorizos and longanizas and I forget the other word for them. Butifarra. That's Castellan, but butifarras and salchichas and there's all these different types of longaniza and chorizo and sausages and everything else, and it's like, oh my god, so good. Well, there's so many places you could go to Babylonia. It's just kind of depends on what the experience you want. Um, I would say Mexico City is always a good choice. All right, got my cure poison. And even though I love good food, I'm still a junkie for food chains like IHOP. When Chris and I moved to Mexico City and we discovered they had an IHOP there, that became our favorite restaurant to go to in Mexico City because Chris loves pancakes. And you can't get good pancakes in Mexico because it's not a Mexican thing. But they have IHOPs in the city, and it was like finally we could get American style pancakes, and she was like in heaven. Alright, we're featuring server lag, I think. I'm watching my internet. I don't think it's my internet that's lagging. I think it's the server. Bubbling says she just wants to miss the heat. I want to body surf or go deep sea fishing. Okay, so you'll want to be on the coast. Yeah, September, well, the problem with September is September can still be hurricane season. So you'll need to still pay attention to the weather when you're planning a trip if you're going to go in September. Because the hurricane season lasts all the way until the end of October for both coasts. So just bear that in mind. I forget you mentioned earlier too, you've already been to Mexico City back in the day, so you're already familiar with that. I don't know. I really, I can't speak to... I spent 8 years in Cancun and Playa del Carmen. There's a lot of good stuff there, but I also haven't been there in a long time, so I don't know how much the scene has changed because of COVID and everything else. Because we left at the end of 2000... Well, the beginning of 2018 was when we left, so it's been 5 years, But I love Puerto Vallarta, but I don't think there's any, I don't know that there's any deep sea fishing and stuff in Puerto Vallarta. Definitely not the beaches of Cancun if you're wanting to go body surfing and stuff.
It's been a foul day, it has.
They can go into November, but they're usually done by mid-October. It's pretty rare for a hurricane to go outside of mid-October. I mean, it can happen, but just, you know, it's pretty rare. Mexico City is still very much like that. I love Mexico City. I loved living there. The 4 years we were there were absolute heaven. The smog is a little shitty, and the earthquakes suck. But apart from that, there's great food in Mexico City. There's always something to do. There's tons of museums, and there's always an event going on somewhere at some plaza at some point in the day or night. There's always stuff to do. I very much enjoyed Mexico season. Yep, hurricane season will be the big thing for those months. Oh shit. Look, it's at a Halros fellow. You have my apologies. I had hoped to arrive before you joined in battle with Lubak, but I saw something that diverted my attention, which slowed my progress for the caves. One of the goblins, a rank creature of prowess, had gotten his hands on Bullroar's club and was trying to escape the caves with it. We saved him the trouble. I have recovered the club and will return to Brimstone when I was delivering him safely to the watch house. Come to my camp. We can discuss these matters in open air.
What do you need?
Saruman's treachery has delayed me too long. I can only hope that Frodo and Sam have left the Shire. Without my aid, their road will be a perilous one. Frodo must rely upon the Rangers and your prowess to see him to the end.
I haven't spent enough time in Puerto Vallarta to tell you if there's body surfing and deep sea fishing there. But I will say that if I had to pick, some of this is probably because I lived in the Riviera Maya for so long. There's lots of opportunities for those things in the Cancun side, but there's also, at least when we were there, and I think it's still an issue, they still have problems with like Uber because there's fights between them and the taxi syndicate. And I don't know, it's just more like 5-star resorts are the big thing. And yes, you can have a local experience in Cancun if you want that, but it's mostly about going to a resort and being in a resort for the whole time you're there. Puerto Vallarta is more, you know, they have resorts, but there's also the city's right there. It's not divided into two sections as bluntly as Cancun is. You guys also might want to look at just Playa del Carmen. I know a lot of foreigners that come into the Mexican Caribbean like Playa del Carmen more because it's right there on the beach. And so they just get a condo on the beach or a condo downtown on the 5th Avenue. They pay, you know, $2,500 for a month or whatever for the condo through Airbnb, and then they have a base of operations for that month. But you can also get a condo in Puerto Vallarta, and I personally think I like Puerto Vallarta more because it's more Mediterranean in terms of the look and the feel and the weather and the food. Plenty of Mexican food, but it has a more old school vibe in Puerto Vallarta as opposed to Cancun, which is more of the Las Vegas vibe. So, I can't speak to Cabo because I've never been to Cabo, but there's also like Mazatlan, which is on the west coast. There's also like a lot of the fish from Mexico come from Veracruz. So there's also like, do you want to go to a port city like Veracruz and do something there? I can't speak to Veracruz because I've never lived there, and I don't know what it's like for someone who, I don't know if you, how well your Spanish is, Babylonia, but I know that's like Chris and I have been talking about going to Veracruz just because she loves seafood, and so we want to go. Um, she thought you could hear her just now when you started talking about PV. I love Puerto Vallarta. I love Puerto Vallarta. It has a Mediterranean look. I think the food is amazing. You've got the marina. It doesn't have the sandy beaches though. One of the things a lot of people don't like about it is it doesn't have sandy beaches. It has like the Mediterranean kind of rocky beaches, and there are some sandy beaches, but they're small. Whereas on the Cancun side, you have huge sandy beaches, but you also have a seaweed problem, which means a lot of times people go on the blue waters they saw on the internet don't exist because it's just seaweed for 300 feet out, and it stinks like rotten sewage because the seaweed just sits there rotting. Um, so I mean, there's considerations for all things. I know a lot of people will go to Cozumel if they want to, and off the coast of the Riviera Maya when they want to do like snorkeling and stuff. But Cozumel, I would not recommend a month on Cozumel unless you're just willing to unless you just want to be disconnected for a month. Because Cozumel, you're out there on the island, there's nothing there. So, you know. But I can't speak to. I would think that most of the deep sea fishing type activities are going to be in Cabo San Lucas up in the northern. But that's, I don't know what your guys' budget is, but I know that's more like, it's all Californians who come south across the border there.
What can I do for you?
You are made of sterner stuff indeed. Lubbock spoke of Eogan, the man of Angmar, that planted the seeds of conquest in his mind, but of this man there was no sign. Where did he go, and for what purpose? Well, I'm probably going to take... I'm not going to worry about daggers because I can make my own. I'm going to take the new boots, though. I need to sell.
Greetings.
Alright, this is the part where they send me to Barlam and Butterbur. But I'm not ready to go because there's another pie I can deliver. Copy that. Yeah, if you're already going to the west coast, honestly, it might be better just to drop down into Cabo. Because you're already going to be in the area. So, from a logistical standpoint, it's not going to be that much extra to, like, drop down south. What is this? That's a deed. The Long Road of the Hobbits. I don't know this deed. You have found the Hobbit lamppost near the statue of the Bull Rower in the Shire. Oh, it gives me a golf chip emote. What the hell? And virtue experience. Ooh, I might have to do that. Brockenborns, which I did. Budgeford I did. Bywater I did. Frogmorton I did. Hobbiton. I could swear we did the Hobbiton one. Little Delving? Did I do Little Delving? I might not have done Little Delving. We're gonna ride along. I'm trying to find out where I missed a pie.
What do you need?
It's cycling. I gotta reconnect. It's either going to be Woodhall or Needle. I'll check both places, but I'm pretty sure that's where I missed the pies. I don't remember doing one from Woodhall at all. Alright, should be cleaning up the connection here. Hey, at least it kept me on the mount. That was cool. And I suppose this is probably true about every country you live in, but one of the things I love about Mexico is how varied the cultures are, you know, between southern and northern regions in terms of food types, alcohol types, belief systems. It's no different than the United States in a lot of ways, where you've got, you know, southerns,
Good
northerns,
day.
and people in Missouri grow up and believe
A
very
lovely
different
day,
things than
isn't
people
it?
in California than versus people in New York, and so on and so forth. Check Needlehole. But Chris and I are looking into, you know, we've spent a lot of time in southern Mexico, but we're wanting to go north as we branch out from here. So wherever we buy mountain property is going to be somewhere north. Chihuahua is very nice. San Miguel de Allende is a little too touristy, but Chihuahua's got great stuff. J. Yasharhala, if I pronounce it right, Yasharhala, whatever. J. We'll just say J. $2 super chat saying never seen this game in action. Well, now you have. Lord of the Rings Online. It's a great game if you like Lord of the Rings and just hanging out and chill stuff. It's not really a game. I mean, yeah, it's kind of an old school tab target MMO, but it's mostly a game about exploration and having fun. It's not like World of Warcraft, for example, where it's a gear grind, or say even Guild Wars 2 or any of those. It's not a gear grind game. It's a story game. So if you like good story, it's definitely a game to play. And cosmetics, because you can do all sorts of fun stuff with cosmetics. And good music, and there's also pipe weed. And ale. You can do tavern runs. You can actually get so drunk that you pass out and wake up somewhere else in the world of Middle-earth without your pants. It's hilarious. And if it's not Needlehole, it's gotta be Woodhall. I just want to know how I missed delivering a pie. That's gonna drive me nuts because it's the one quest that I didn't finish in the Shire and I need to get it done for completion. But there's also an achievement for delivering all the pies. Well, there's somebody right there that has a quest. Bounder Chubb. What do you need me to do, Bounder?
Good day.
Oh.
Like to have a word with you.
Oh, that's the lead-up quest to the Yonder Shire. Sweet! Which I've never done before. I told you guys at the beginning of this that once we got to 20, we were going to go to the Yonder Shire, which is actually technically, this is the gateway to the Yonder Shire from Needlehole. So that's a good thing that we got the breadcrumb there. However, we're not ready to go there yet. It's level 20 stuff, and we're still only level 16. So if the pie lady wasn't here, maybe it's
Hello there.
maybe it's Woodhall, which means I gotta go all the way to Stock. Mujin says, getting to level 50 gear crafting closer where I'm at. Very nice, sir. Start to make your own stuff. Don't forget to let me know, Mujin, if you want armor, dye, or if you want some crystals, let me know. Like specific color crystals. Probably Babylonia. Chris and I have never been to that part of Mexico. I think at one point in time we had a trip planned that we thought we might wind up there, but then the trip ended up turning into a European jaunt, so then we ended up going to Europe for 3 months instead of doing it. We were going to do a 3-month road trip in Mexico in 2014, but then we ended up getting a contract to go to Spain, so we took the contract because why not, you know? We're getting paid to go to Spain, whereas opposed to doing the road trip, we would, you know, be doing it on our own out of pocket. We were going to do a Kickstarter to fund it, but then it was like, oh, we're going to get, you know, we get a contract to go to Spain, everything's paid for. See ya! And then we just never did the road trip. Alright, Mujin, for sure. Talk colors tomorrow. Because then it'll just be a matter of me hunting down the materials. There's a few different purple ones. I think the one I like the most, which I'm going to make for my characters, like I think it's purple, white, and blue. I think it's purple, white, blue. Literally, I think is the description. It might be blue, white, purple, something like that. But then there's amethyst, and then there's purple, purple. There's a really crazy looking purple one too. And I'm sure there's schematics that drop from fellowships from flashpoints that I haven't gotten yet. I only have the store-bought stuff. All right, now we travel to Stock.
Good day.
server lag. You gotta love it, man. It just had me running in circles. That's funny. What is going on with the server? Where my horse is running around in circles on the road. That is their servers. They need to fix their servers. That is hilarious. I'm about to drop off and just take my own mount. I clicked dismount. Let's see how long it takes to dismount me. Right. Well, I'll tell you what, everybody. My internet was being a little poopy right there towards the end. So, I think that's probably a good sign for me to wrap up. I've been going for 3 hours and 40 minutes, which is way longer than I normally stream for. So, tomorrow morning we've got some interesting new content coming out. So check out first thing in the morning. Tomorrow morning we've got what is tomorrow? The first. We have Lotro news in the morning, followed by Decoding Dune episode 3. We're also having I'll have a stream tomorrow, assuming the internet's up. I'll do something. In the late morning, early evening. Sorry, late morning, early afternoon. I should do a stream, and then Mujin and I are scheduled to play Star Wars: The Old Republic tomorrow at around 3:30 Central. So those of you who want to come hang out with us, if you want to come play, do a flashpoint or something like that, we'll be online around 3:30 p.m. Central Time. We do have the guild now. We have a guild ship that I bought on Monday that we're starting to working towards decorating and stuff. So for those of you who want to join us, we're on the Starforge server. Come check it out. I'm going to do a member video tomorrow talking about Diablo 4 and some ideas I've got for some things, but I want to share that with our members here on YouTube. So there will be a member-only video coming tomorrow. I'll be recording that in the morning at some point after I get up and get going in the morning. Yeah, thanks for hanging out tonight, everybody. Thanks for the super chat, J-Dot. Thanks for the super chat, Bubbleonia Rising. Thanks to those of you who support with memberships. May was a decent month. I think actually the month of May, I haven't done the totals yet, but I think we came very close to paying 100% of the bills from the YouTube revenue. I don't think it was 100%. I think it's close. I have to check after taxes what we brought in. But I think May was a good month for the channel because of everyone's support and everything else. So I appreciate it. There we go. Finally kicked me offline. So yeah, that's a good stopping point. My internet's being poopy, so I'll catch y'all tomorrow at some point. Hopefully, if the internet's good, I'll probably be back to playing. I don't know what I'll stream tomorrow. I know I'll be playing Star Wars: The Republic tomorrow afternoon, so I may stream Star Wars: The Republic tomorrow morning. I'm really close to being like at the end of whatever's the most recent patch content. I think I'm on the last mission, to be honest with you. But then I gotta turn around and get 2 more crafters leveled up for guides and stuff. So, I also want to play some more DMZ, so I don't know if I'll do that tomorrow. And Diablo 4 is next week, just around the corner. Stay tuned, everybody. Catch you tomorrow. Stay safe. Get feeling better, Babylonia. Thanks, Mujin. Thanks, everybody else. Thanks for your memberships, guys. Rest up. Get rid of that tooth issue, infection, pain in the ass. No fun stuff. And if you can, get some sleep. Do so. You know what I forgot to do tonight, everybody, as I'm winding down? I forgot I was supposed to watch an episode of Strange New Worlds with Chris because I'm trying to work through Season 1 to get ready for Season 2.